Hey guys, Darth Gloric here, back with part 24 of my If My Heart Had Wings playthrough. So last time, what the frick did we do last time? Right, we commenced Asa's route. We went farther on her route, and things got really real. We made our final decision between Asa and Yoru, and it was really sad. It was really sad because obviously Yoru, they both confessed to us, but Yoru was Yoru was obviously upset when we didn't choose her. But yeah, lots of things happened, and it was quite emotional, and it made me very excited for the next route, which was supposedly in my guide called the Twins route, which makes me wonder if it's going to be like if you're going to be able to get both of them, which would be amazing. So we'll see. However, what's new in this episode is my brand new microphone that I'm using. So yeah, this will be my very first episode with my brand new microphone. The only exception will be tomorrow when I upload Divinity. That one is on my old microphone, but other than that one episode for Divinity, everything else going forward will be with a new microphone. So my new one, it's everything I ever wanted, man. It has a boom arm, and so no longer do I have a stand. Its placement is not as amazing as it could be, I'm hoping, but for now it is where it is. We'll see if I end up sticking with that or if I come up with a new setup of some kind. I'm not sure if it's gonna stay where it is because it's a little bit blocking both of my screens in some ways, but I can still see them and it doesn't block them super bad, so it's not terrible. But it might not stay where it is. So if audio is a little bit weird, a little bit different, it's a brand new microphone and I'm trying to figure out how to use it. Anyway, but otherwise it's very fancy. I did audio test beforehand to see if everything sounded good, and I changed settings right off the bat, and it sounded really sharp. It sounded incredibly sharp, sharper than anything I've ever had before, and that's really exciting. I'm very excited about it, and so here's hoping that it's just as good for you guys, and hopefully that'll increase the quality, which is never a bad thing. Never a bad thing. So I think I accidentally clicked at the very end of the last episode, I think. But I think I might have clicked through one of the slides on accident when I was saving it the last time. So we might have missed one thing. But it's okay. It's fine. It is what it is. Anyway, so I don't know if this might be the finale of Asa's route. I don't know if that'll happen or not. It could be, but I don't know. It's hard to say. But then the episode after that, I don't know, but we might be getting close because all of the decisions for the next route, the final route, all of the decisions are exactly the same. Even the only difference is the very final decision. Instead, you just say neither of them rather than choosing Asa. Otherwise, that's it. And so it's going to be all repeats up until that point. And so this episode will be very telling because it will prove to us if we do finish Asa's route in this episode. If we do finish Asa's route this episode, then we know that next episode, I mean, it's more likely that next episode might be the finale of the game, if Yoru's route is all the same up until the very last, up until the last decision. We'll see. We'll see, but whatever happens, happens. So I do have the water in front of me. I'll be sipping on that, trying to keep my voice nice and crisp. It's so weird having not to move my keyboard like I've always done because my microphone to get it in the right spot. It's so weird because my new one, obviously there's no movement involved, and so I don't have to. It's incredible. Anyway, the other really cool thing about my new microphone is it has settings on the back, so you can flip it to tell it to on where it's gonna look, what it's gonna listen to, and one of the settings makes it very directional, which is great because it actually picks up on my fan that's blowing at my feet a lot less, which is really cool. I mean, that it's less white noise, which is amazing, and so it's really cool. I'm very happy about it. Anyway, so yeah, it's gonna take some getting used to having a pop filter in a big fancy professional grade microphone. It's gonna take some getting used to, but hey, it's really exciting. Anyway, it's incredible too because even my chair is very cheap, but it was comfortable when I bought it. Now it's getting old and it's losing its comfort. But when I first bought it, it was very comfortable, and so but it squeaks very, very badly. It's very loud, and it's interesting because my mic is like sensitive enough that it actually, or like it's because of the settings on stuff, it's fancy enough that it actually doesn't pick up on it that badly. Whereas in the other ones, I always cut out whenever my chair squeaked because it was so loud that my old microphone obviously picked it up very, very badly. But my new one does not do that, and so nearly as badly. It's audible, but like barely, and so that's really exciting. Anywho, moving on, but I'm, you know, takes getting used to having something that's right in my face like that. takes some getting used to, not gonna lie. Anyway, gliding through the sky, we started gliding through the sky. Again, I think I skipped through one of the slides, so when I was saving it when we finished the last episode, so, you know, not entirely positive on what that sentence is referring to. We started building the glider because we yearned for that. But at some point, we turned our sights to the friends around us and began a new story, one different than just building the glider. It happened just by chance. Looking back at it, it was a happy occurrence. During the last few days of summer vacation, we all concentrated on building the glider, making up for lost time. Asa and Yoru acted a little awkward from time to time, but otherwise they'd returned to being close sisters. And we got all closer too, because we've made our decisions. So obviously the other thing too, of course, is I don't know when I'll have to cut away. This is blind, so at any minute I might cut away for ecchi stuff. You never know. I heard a voice. Senpai. Senpai. A voice calling me. Why was somebody calling out to me? Senpai. Senpai. Huh? Oh, there we go. She's so adorable, dude. Oh, finally, you woke up. It's time for breakfast. Huh? Time for breakfast? Breakfast? It's my job to make it, right? That time already? How come? Confused, I looked at my clock. Ah! I have to hurry and make it. It wasn't time to make breakfast. It was already time for everyone to be eating it. And today was a school day too. Every one of us was supposed to go to school. Is there some sort of simple thing I could manage to prepare in such a time? I prepared some rice last night, so if I just made some instant miso soup and got tofu or natto out of the fridge... You don't need to panic, Senpai. Huh? I already made breakfast. Heh. You already made it? You did? Yes, you were sound asleep and showed no signs of waking up, so I went ahead and prepared it myself. I see. Wait, you got up that early? Well, we're dating now, right? So I wanted to wake you up, Senpai. She has to come up with a new name for him. I don't think she should call him Senpai anymore if they are dating. Now that they're dating, there should be more. There should be something else there, you know? They should have a special nicknames or something. I just always wanted to do stuff like that. Asa. I see. That made my heart skip a beat. Was it a bother? No, not at all. In fact, my chest felt like it was gonna burst from happiness. It was like happiness and embarrassment were both knocking on my heart. So you can take your time getting dressed and coming downstairs. I'll go set up the table now. Thank you. What a wonderful girlfriend. I must be the luckiest boyfriend in the whole world. What a happy morning, as expected from dating Asa. I should drop dead for that pun. I missed that. I wasn't even paying attention. Was there a pun in there? What a happy morning, as expected from dating Asa. Yeah, it must be lost in translation. Anyway, it was time to get dressed. Must be lost in translation. Don't worry about it too much. You're late, Aoi-kun. Sorry, I overslept a bit. When I went downstairs, everyone was already in the dining hall. And the food Asa had made was lined up at the table. Steam was rising from the freshly served bowls of rice and miso soup. The miso soup was with potatoes and spinach. There was also a side dish made from spinach, sesame, and fish cakes. Although there were bits of chili pepper in that some sort of sauce, too, it looked a bit spicy for something to eat first thing in the morning. That must be how Asa liked it.
味噌汁とかむちゃくちゃ美味しそうだし。
Asa did her best. The miso soup looks absolutely delicious. Ah, even you're here, Ageha.
だって登校日じゃない。せっかくだからみんなと一緒に登校しようかなって。
Today's a school day, right? I thought we may as well all go together.
そしたら葵、寝坊してご飯作ってないだもん。
And then you overslept and didn't even make breakfast. And it's not my job to make breakfast for you to begin with.
ブーブー。
Boo.
しかし珍しいね。葵くんが寝坊なんてどうしちゃったの？
But it's not like you to oversleep, Aoi. What happened? It's probably stress. Well, various things have happened lately. Yeah, he's probably stressed out from all the relationship stuff.
いろいろ？
Various. Yeah, various. I hurriedly dodged the question. That was close. The situation would be a bit difficult to explain. I can't just tell them about this carelessly.
姉さんと葵先輩が付き合うことになったそうです。
And then Yoru's just like, forget that. Forget tiptoeing, dude. Nesan and Aoi started dating. Huh? What?
ヨルちゃん。
Yoru, who was helping Asa with breakfast, said this unthinkable thing without hesitation. Atta girl.
それで昨日いろいろあったそうです。だから疲れていたそうですよ。
And apparently various things happened yesterday. That's why he was tired, you see. Like, what?
そうなの？葵くん？
Really, Aoi-kun? Well...
拍手をしなさい、葵。
Spit it out, Aoi. Well... I looked at Asa. He's like, thoughts? He's like, I mean, Yoru already said it, so I guess we'll just go out with it. She was at her wit's end.
そっか、そうなんだ。そういうことになったのね。
She's like, oof, is that so? I see, so that's what happened.
そういうことになりました。
That's what happened.
ちょっと、何私に相談せずに勝手に交際なんて始めてるのよ、葵。おかしいでしょ？
What is she, his mother? Wait a minute, how could you start dating someone without consulting me first, Aoi? That's not right. Wait, why would I need your permission, Agaha?
友達なのに、葵くんが相談してくれなかった。
Even though we're friends, Aoi-kun didn't consult with me either, mumble bumble. You too, Kotori? Ah, damn, what was I supposed to do now?
大変そうですね、先輩。
Looks like you're in trouble, senpai. This is your fault.
私を泣かせた罰ですね。
It's punishment for making me cry.
葵、ヨルちゃん泣かせたの？
Huh? Aoi, you made Yoru cry? He's like, oh, come on, I'm sorry. Next route, I swear to God, next route, she'll be happy. Well, that was... Ugh. I did make her cry, but... And Yoru's like, hell yeah. Ah, give me a break. This is her revenge, right?
というか、それで昨日いろいろあって寝不足って、葵くんは何をしてたのかな？
So you say various things happened yesterday, and you didn't get enough sleep. Aoi, what were you doing, I wonder?
まさか。
Could it be?
葵、そういうことなの？
He's like, probably not. Huh? Aoi, you did something like that? I'm not sure what you're implying, but no, you're all wrong. Right, Asa? Asa just doesn't say a word. They all misunderstood that reaction, you know.
そういえば、今朝調子が悪かったのよね、ベッド。足、きちんと補強しておかないと。
Guys, come on. He's like, alright, come on. We haven't done anything at all. Oh, he's like, oh yeah, the bed was in pretty poor condition this morning. You have to reinforce the legs. He's like, Yoru, please. Like, nothing happened. Everyone is already confused. Don't say even more misleading things. Yoru's like, serves you right. Oh, come on, Yoru.
葵、手を出すのが早いわね。
You sure move fast, Aoi.
葵くんが大人の階段登っちゃった。
Aoi's climbed up the stairway to adulthood. No, I haven't. He's like, come on, I haven't done anything at all. He's like, it's been really wholesome, to be honest. Agaha and Kotori kept teasing Asa and me throughout breakfast. They were asking how long we liked each other, who confessed first, things like that.
朝から大変でしたね。
Things started out pretty rough. Seriously. Thanks to all that, I was exhausted before we even reached the school. I was tired out so early in the morning.
ごめんなさい。ヨルちゃんがあんなこと言うなんて。
I'm sorry, to think that Yoru would say something like that. Oh, no need, no, don't apologize, Asa. The one at fault is... Yoru was thrilled with herself. Oh, come on. She said she agreed with my decision, but she's actually holding a grudge for being turned down. Yes, next route. I swear to God, Yoru, next route. But maybe she was doing this out of consideration? This was probably her way of making it easier for me to treat her without any reservations. That's true. Everyone would have found out about me and Asa eventually, and I guess this was a good moment to tell them about it. I mean, it's true, they would have dragged their feet otherwise. So, you know, as usual, Yoru is saving the day. I'll try to think of it that way at least.
そういえば昨日の夜ちゃんとたくさんお話ししました。
By the way, Yoru and I talked a lot last night. About what?
先輩のことをいろいろ
About you, senpai. Really? What exactly?
秘密です。
It's a secret. If you weren't gonna tell me, don't bring it up at all. It'll be on my mind now.
でも秘密は秘密なんです。
But a secret is still a secret. This vague conversation was making me feel a bit uncomfortable. But, well, I'm glad. It seemed that Asa and Yoru had made up right away.
なに登校時から早速ラブってんの
What? Are you all lovey from the moment you started going to school? We're not really lovey. Wait, what does lovey even mean?
私が思いついた単語よ。ラブってるの略。
It's a word I thought of. It's short for lovey-dovey. I don't think lovey-dovey is a proper word either.
んで、さっきは聞き損ねたけど、結局どうして妹の方は葵くんに泣かされたわけ？
So I didn't get it earlier. How did you make the little sister cry anyway? That's... Come on, Kotori, just let the topic pass already.
ま、いろいろあったんですよ。
Now Yoru is being vague. Well, various things happened.
そのいろいろが気になるんだけど。
It's those things I want to hear about.
いろいろです。先輩に聞いてください。
Various things. Ask Senpai about it. What?
葵くん、いろいろって何？
Aoi, what were those various things? Various things?
どうして教えてくれないの？
Why won't you tell me? Because it's not something I really need to tell you. And with that, the turmoil that continued for the last 2 days had finally ended. My new life with Asa as my girlfriend began. Hell yeah. It was just that easy.
Oh, 久々だな、葵。
Oh, long time no see, Aoi. When we entered the classroom, one guy happily ran over to us. It hasn't really been that long. Or, it hasn't really been that long, you know. We saw each other when we went swimming the other day.
あの日はお前たちのせいで大変だったんだぞ。あかりさんに嫌われそうになるし。
That day was a disaster thanks to you guys. It seems that Akari hates me now. Well, you reap what you sow. I'm not responsible for that, I think. After we caught Mabo secretly taking pictures that day, Kotori and the others had reported everything to Akari. Ooh. Ooh, brutal. It was a rather cruel punishment, given that he had kneeled down and begged for them not to tell her. Naturally, I watched all of this and enjoyed every second of it.
生徒会の雑用もたくさん押し付けられちまうしさ。おかげでほとんど休みもなかったし。
Yeah, well, he deserves it. Anyway, she pushed a ton of errands for the student council on me. I hardly had any vacation thanks for that. Poor Mabo. What is it, Kotori?
いや、久しぶりに来て思ったけど、教室ってなんだかいい匂いがするわよねと。
Oh, I just thought that now that we've come back here after a while, the classroom smells kind of nice.
いろんなものとか人の匂いが混じり合ったような、なんだろう。 とにかくいい匂いよ。
It's like the smell of people mixed with various things, something like that. Anyway, it's a nice smell. That sounded a little bit perverted.
変態じゃないわよ。
I'm not a pervert.
しかし、小鳥の口から通学を喜ぶような言葉が出るとはね。月日も流れたってもんだわ。
But to hear you say that you're glad to come to school, time sure flies.
だって葵くんには彼女ができたしね。
And I got a girlfriend too. Kotori said that casually. Of course, Mabo, who didn't know about that.
葵、お前、彼女できたの？
Huh? Aoi, you got a girlfriend? He was surprised. Well?
ソアリング部の朝ちゃんだよ。
It's Asa from the Soaring Club.
確かにお前、最近仲が良さそうだったけど。
What? Yeah, you two looked pretty friendly lately, but that's how it is. There was no point in hiding it, so I just told him. There was no need to inform him either, so I didn't go out of my way to tell him earlier.
そうか。なんだ。とりあえずおめでとう、葵。
I see. What news? Anyway, congratulations, Aoi. Thanks.
そっか。
What, did you expect her to be single forever? I see. Wow, Aoi got a girlfriend. Wow. A girlfriend, huh? Mabo?
おい、積もる話もあるだろうが、みんな席につけ。ホームルームの時間だぞ。
He's like, what? Are you just upset that now you're like, you know, that you're in the rapidly shrinking group of people that don't have girlfriends or boyfriends or whatever? Anyway, hey, I know you have a lot to talk about, but go to your seats now. It's time for homeroom. Our teacher came into the classroom.
はいはい、先生来ちゃったわよ。マーボーは自分の席に行った行った。
Okay, the teacher's here. Come on, go back to your seat, Mabo.
どうしたの？
What's wrong?
いや別に頑張れ。
No, nothing. Good luck. Weird.
何あれ？
What was that? I wonder. I don't know, maybe he's jealous that he doesn't have one, or maybe he's, I don't know, didn't think it would actually happen. I'm not sure what that was about. Anyway, there were no classes today. We just had to listen to some announcements in the speech. There was an assembly of the whole school and then of individual classes. There were a few short discussions about career plans and school events. It was all over pretty soon. The longest event was probably the principal's pointless speech held in the gym. Even so, listening to various people talking for half a day was mentally tiring. By the time homeroom ended, my body felt heavy.
おうおう、疲れとるね。
Oh, I'm worn out. Yeah, school is tiring after all. I can't believe I dealt with this every day.
本当よ。昔のこの学校がどうだったかなんて興味もないしどうでもいいっつの。
Oh, really now? I don't care what this school was like in the past. Katori seriously resented the principal's speech.
まあでももう終わったじゃん。ほら、今から楽しい部活の時間よ。
But it's over now. Come on. From now, it's time for fun club activities, right?
そうね。まるで地獄から抜け出せた気分。今日も元気に部活するとしましょうか。
Yeah, I feel like I managed to crawl out of hell. Let's do our best in the club today. Katori said this while stretching herself.
葵は朝ちゃんとこに寄ってから来るんだよね。
Aoi, you're gonna pick up Asa on the way, right? Yeah, I thought I'd go see her. I was planning to eat lunch together too. You want to come along?
遠慮。恋人さんたちは二人で仲良くしてなさいな。それに今日はもう先客がいるから。
I'll pass. A couple should enjoy themselves alone together. And besides, I'm already booked for today. Booked?
そう。先にご飯の約束があるの。私と小鳥はそっちでご飯だから。
Yep, I've already made plans for lunch. I'll go to that place with Katori.
そう。私たち恋人いない女たちはウィンディーで慰め合ってくるんだから。
Sad face. Yep, that's right. Us girls with no boyfriends will go to Windy and comfort each other. You didn't have to put it that way.
というわけで、おっさき。
And so, see ya.
また後でね、葵くん。
See you later, Aoi-kun. They left together. They really don't have to tease me that much. Well, whatever. I'll go see Asa. Yoru will probably be there too, so I guess I'll invite her to lunch as well. Considering what had happened, it might be a bother to her, but if that's the case, I'm sure Yoru will say that clearly. Yeah, that's true. It's possible that she might also not be there, you know? She might go with the other girls.
先輩。
Ah, senpai. I hesitated for a moment, but it seemed to be okay, so I walked into her classroom. I walked up to Asa's desk like I always did and invited her to lunch. I came to pick you up. Wait, where's Yoru?
実はさっき先輩たちが来て、夜ちゃんを連れて行ってしまいました。
Ha! Called it. I said that she would go with the other girls. Called it. Anyway, actually, senpais came and took her with them. Senpais? You mean Katori and Agaha?
はい。小鳥先輩とアゲハ先輩とかなこさんが来てました。それで夜ちゃんに一緒にご飯に行こうって。
Yeah, Katori, Agaha, and Kanako all came and invited Yoru out to lunch. I see.
きっと気を利かせてくれたんだと思うんですけど。
I'm pretty sure they were all being considerate for us. Yeah, obviously. They really didn't need to go that far. That seemed more like leaving us out as opposed to just teasing us. It made me a little sad. Anyway, let's go. Yeah. And maybe Kanako wasn't doing this for us, but for Yoru? It might have been uncomfortable for Yoru if I invited her to eat with us. I mean, probably. At least for a while. Like, it'll take a while for her to kind of move on, I think, you know? Anyway, I was surrounded by really good people. I'm grateful for that. So, what should we do now? I thought we could eat lunch and then head to the club together, but I had been in such a hurry this morning that I hadn't prepared any lunches.
実はですね、ご飯あるんです。
Actually, I have food. Huh?
朝お弁当作ってきたんです。先輩と私の分 あ、食材勝手に使わせてもらいましたけど。
I made lunch this morning. You're sharing mine. I used the ingredients without permission, though. Really?
はい。だから一緒にどうでしょうか。口に合うか不安ですが。
She's so cute, dude. Yeah, so would you like to eat together? I'm not sure if you'll like it, but... Oh, I'd love to. I'm looking forward to it.
じゃあ風車の丘で食べましょう。あそこ景色いいですし。お尻ちょっと汚れちゃいますけど。
Then let's go eat on Windmill Hill. The view is great there. We might get our clothes a little dirty, though. Approved. Let's go then. Yeah. They're so cute, dude. And so we headed to the usual hill. You think it's like awkward? She's like, what is it, Asa? Asa kept reaching out her hand and pulling it back over and over again. She wants to hold his hand. That's so cute.
なんでもないです。なんでも大丈夫です。
She's like, huh? It's nothing. Nothing. Everything is fine. Huh?
気にしないでください。
Don't worry about it. Even though she said so, it was on my mind. Reaching out her hand and pulling it back. He's just silent. Reaching, pulling back. Ah. Give me your hand. She's like, huh? I took Asa's hand. Is this alright? She's like, yes! I'm holding his hand like we're a real couple.
そうです。恋人になったんだから手くらい繋いでみてもいいのかなって。
Yeah, since we're dating now, I thought maybe we could at least hold hands. That's good. If I'd guessed wrong, that would have been really embarrassing. Yeah, no, that's true.
合ってたから大丈夫ですよ。
No, you were right, so it's fine. Asa squeezed my hand back. It was just as warm and soft as I'd imagined.
先輩の手大きいです。
Your hand is big, and yours is small and cute.
でも指短いといろいろと不便なんですよ。指短いと不器用らしいですから。どうぞ。
But short fingers are quite inconvenient sometimes. Sometimes short fingers are usually clumsy. Because short fingers are usually clumsy. I don't know if that's a thing. I see. The conversation grew awkward. I was getting uncharacteristically nervous. I could feel my heart beating faster from nervousness. Say, isn't my hand getting sweaty? If it's unpleasant, you can let go.
いえ、大丈夫です。こちらこそ、すみません。緊張しちゃって。
No, it's fine. I'm also sorry. I got so nervous. No, me too. I'm also a little nervous. Don't worry, guys. You'll get used to it. Suddenly, we both grew silent. I just couldn't come up with anything to say. My brain struggled to come up with something suitable to talk about while holding hands, but I couldn't think of anything. What should I say? If I didn't say something, this'll get uncomfortable, right?
先輩
Senpai. As I was worrying, Asa spoke up. What?
恥ずかしいですね。
It's embarrassing, isn't it? That's what she said. But not like that, but that's literally what she said. Yeah, it was definitely embarrassing. Should we stop?
いえ、このままがいいです。
No, it's fine as is. I see.
はい。
Yeah. Just silent. Don't worry, guys. You'll get used to it. I know it's not supernatural yet, but, you know, you'll get there. Anyway, while we were fighting our embarrassment, we arrived at our destination.
着きましたね。
We're here. Yeah. Just silent.
先輩、手を離してもいいでしょうか。お弁当、カバンから取り出さないと。
Senpai, could you let go of my hand? I need to get our lunch out of the bag. Yeah, sorry. I was holding on too tight. I hurriedly let go of her hand. Wait, why was I still holding it anyway?
こちらこそ段取りが悪くて申し訳ないです。
It's like she's not sure. No, I'm sorry for planning it so poorly.
弁当を出しますね。
I'll get our lunch now. Okay. While when her hand was freed, Asa rummaged around in her bag and took out a boxed lunch wrapped in cloth.
お口に合うといいんですが。
Oh, dude, it's so cute, though. I hope you'll like it. Wow, it looks great. The huge lunchbox opened and revealed an amazing lineup of colorful and delicious-looking food. It didn't seem like it was made in a hurry. There were cherry tomatoes, omelets, fried chicken, deep-fried shrimp, sausages cut into an octopus shape, boiled broccoli, and a burdock root dish with many spicy chili peppers. There was also rice covered with a layer of ground chicken and thinly sliced peppers. There was a ton of food. You made all this by yourself?
はい頑張ったんですよ。あ、ししとうときんぴらはちょっと辛いかもしれないんで気をつけてください。
Yes, I did my best. Green peppers and the burdock root dish might be a bit spicy, so be careful.
私好みに味付けしすぎちゃって。
I made it a little too much to my own taste. Oh, that's just like you. Let's dig in. First, I tried the chicken and rice. The delicious soy sauce flavoring on the chicken spread out in my mouth. It was a little spicy, but it went well with the unseasoned rice.
点数をいただけるのであれば何点でしょうか。
She's so adorable, dude. If you were to grade it, how many points would it get? I'd say 100 points.
本当ですか？
Really? The ground chicken was tasty even though it was cold. It was perfect for a box lunch. I was rating not only Asa's cooking itself, but also the choice of that particular dish. And the very spicy peppers on top matched the flavor very well. It was delicious. Yep, the other dishes are good too.
よかった。何気に初めて一人で最初から最後までやりましたから失敗しちゃってたらどうしようかと。
I'm so glad. This was the first time I'd ever made a whole lunch by myself, so I was worried I'd made a mistake. I see. You really tried hard.
はい頑張りました。
Yes, I did my best. I couldn't believe that until just recently. She was a complete amateur and had no common sense for cooking at all.
結構多いですけど全部食べちゃって大丈夫ですよ。私は自分の分に小さいのを作ってきましたから。
There's a lot of food, but you can eat it all. I made a smaller lunch for myself. I see. I'll try. It was far too much to eat by myself. The box is fully loaded with tons of rice and side dishes. If I ate it all, I wouldn't be able to move.
あれ？
Huh? What is it, Asa?
いやもしかして私自分のお弁当を忘れちゃった？
That's actually a good thing, because he was just saying there's no way he could eat it all. Like, you know what I mean? No, could it be that I forgot my own lunch? Huh?
まさかここで失敗してしまうなんて。せっかく料理はうまくいったのに。
He's like, actually, this is a great thing. You could share mine. There's no way I could finish this. I can't believe I made such a mistake, and the cooking even turned out so well. Then why don't we eat mine together?
でもそれは先輩の分ですし。
Huh? But that's all for you. He's like, and then he laughs, chuckles. I already thought it was too much for me to eat alone. I actually really appreciate it if you help me finish it.
ですがお箸も一つですよ。
Oh, hell yeah. Well, then now we can have a cute couple moment where they share chopsticks. That's so cute. But there's only one set of chopsticks. That's right. Naturally, there's only one set of chopsticks attached to this lunchbox. Then I'll run to the convenience and buy a pair. I'll be right back, so wait just a minute.
ちょっと待ってください先輩。
Please wait, senpai. What is it?
大丈夫です。一緒に食べましょう。
It's okay, let's eat together. Huh?
その箸で二人一緒に食べる。
I like how she like trails off like she's so nervous, dude. We can eat together, sharing these chopsticks. As she said that, her face got bright red. Oh, so in other words, she wanted to eat lunch together using the same chopsticks. A boy and a girl eating a box lunch together with one pair of chopsticks.
ダメでしょうか。
We can't? No, we could, but are you fine with this?
私は先輩がお嫌でなければ。
If you don't mind, then No, I don't really mind. There was no reason to object.
じゃあお箸貸してください。
Then please give me the chopsticks. Asa snatched away the chopsticks I'd been holding, and then...
はい。先輩、唐揚げです。
That's so cute, dude. I can't even take it. It's way too cute. Not able to handle so much cuteness. Okay, senpai, here's some fried chicken. Say, ah. Whoa, this was intense. That sweet expression made me feel like I was in heaven for a moment. Chomp.
どうでしょう。
How is it? Delicious.
そうですか。よかったです。
Really? I'm so glad. I was happy but embarrassed. So embarrassed I could die, but just as happy at the same time. It was hard to explain, but that's what I felt. Well then, it's my turn to...
大丈夫です。私は自分で食べるんで。
No, it's fine. I'll eat it myself. She's like, it's not a two-way street, pal. I'll feed you and me. I'll take control. No way. Then only I would be embarrassed. You have to do it too.
いや、嫌です。無 箸使う方はやれますけど、食べる方は無理です。
No, I can't do it. I can feed you with the chopsticks, but feeding me would be too much. That's no good, Asa. You can't do this to me without letting me do the same. I was so embarrassed just now, I thought I would die.
勘弁してもらえませんか？
Can't you let it slide? No, come on, hand me the chopsticks.
はい先輩、みんなです。
Here, senpai, a sausage. Hey, don't dodge the issue. Asa was trying to continue feeding me.
実はデザートもあるんですよ。別の容器に入れて持ってきてるんです。
There's dessert too. I brought it in a separate container. Come on, give me the chopsticks already.
先輩、勘弁してください。
Senpai, please have mercy. Nope, come on, Asa, say ah. It's so cute. I can't even take it. Way too cute. Can't even handle it. Not equipped to handle that level of cuteness. You know what I should do? I think all of my setup would do 60 frames. I should bump up all my quality to 60 frames. If I bought a new capture card of some kind and gave my old one to my sister, that way she could have access to that if she wanted to down the road. That's an idea. It would be kind of nice. I'm gonna give that some thought. Anyway, and so we spent our time like a pair of lovers. Since we've been living under the same roof and in the same club, we were probably closing the distance between us faster than other couples. Now that I thought about it, we'd kissed before we even started dating, and although our rooms were separate, we were already living together. We've made it past several obstacles that normal couples have to overcome before we even started. And in the midst of all that, we were about to reach a big milestone with our soaring club as well, clearing the last obstacle before the flight, the final phase.
この調子だと明日には終わるな。
At this rate, it'll be done tomorrow. Yeah! The two of them sounded excited. Tomorrow, our long work on remodeling the glider will finally be finished. The main wings and tail plane were remade. All that was left was final adjustments of the whole thing.
ここまで長かったね。
It's been a long road so far.
いろいろあったけど、私たちついにやり遂げたんだ。
A lot of stuff has happened, but we've finally made it.
そうして私たちは登り始めた。あの長い坂道を。この空の向こうに未来があると信じて。
And that path we started climbing, that long hill road to the sky, we have faith that beyond it, our future awaits.
ハバネ先生の次回作にご期待ください。
Be sure to look forward to Habane's next creation.
部活打ち切ってどうするんですか？大切なのは今からでしょ。
Why are you all acting like club activities are all over? The most important part starts now. That's right, the main part was only beginning. The remodeling was just preparation for the flight. We had to fly with this glider and reach what we hadn't reached last year.
モーニンググローリー。
The Morning Glory. The reason that this club had been formed, the strange passes of clouds. The sky that a girl named Iska had been aiming for.
でも今年の改造したやつは届く予定なんでしょ？だったらもう心配しなくても大丈夫じゃない？
The glider we remodeled this year should reach it, right? Then we don't have anything to worry about, do we?
保証は全くないな。あくまでも去年より高い確率で行けるようになったというだけだ。
In case you're curious, because I know some people just like to know this stuff, the flavored water I'm drinking is tangerine mango. It's very good. Highly recommend it. There's no guarantee. All I can say is that the probability of reaching it is higher than last year.
もちろんこのグライダーの設計自体がどこかで計算をミスっている可能性もあるし、運が悪いと当日うまく風を捕まえることができないだろう。
Of course, there's a possibility that I've miscalculated something in the designs. It's also possible that we got unlucky and may not be able to catch good wind on the day it appears.
結局のところやれることをやってるだけですよね。
So in the end, we'll just do what we can.
その通りだ。
Exactly. That's right, there was no guarantee at all. There was a possibility that all our hard work would be for nothing.
ああ、そうなんだ。成功する保証があるってわけじゃないのね。
Ah, I see. It's not that success is certain. Kaneko seemed disappointed.
まあでもそういうものを夢見るのがこの部活なんでしょ。私にはその価値観よくわかりませんけど。
But this club is all about dreams, right? I don't really understand that sense of values, though. You're wrong, Yoru. The point of this club is to make such dreams happen. We weren't coming together just to dream. We were meeting to make our dreams come true. Hell yeah. The feels. It had no substance and won't give us any power or rewards. Our goal was just a vague dream.
青春だね
This is youth, huh? We were aiming for the sky as if we were possessed by it.
本当に完成しているのね
It's really finished.
へえ、できているとは聞いてたけど、本当に進んでたんだな。
Wow, I heard it was completed, but now I can see how much progress you've done.
あれどうしたのお二人さん
Huh? What are those two doing here? Akari and Mabo came here.
視察です校外活動をやっているわけですからたまにはこうして見回りにも来ないとまずいでしょ
Wow, that's the official excuse. Really, they just wanted to come see us, and hey, who could blame them? Anyway, it's an inspection. Since you are holding your activities off campus, someone has to come check on you from time to time, right?
とか言ってるけど、お気に入りのソアリング部が順調に活動できているか心配なだけなんだよね、あかりさんは。
Ha, see, what I say. Even though she says that, Akari was just worried if her dearest soaring club was doing well. And she's like, no, I wasn't.
すみません。
Sorry. It's deeply moving.
そうだな
I see. That sky was that our senpai dreamed about. The sky that we were chasing now. Our summer was finally brought to a close. Hell yeah. It's on the horizon. Can you smell it in the air? We reached a good point to stop for today, so we decided to finish club activities early. And so I invited Asa to Windy. Since we had extra time, I thought we could go on a date on the way home. I guess this is our first date.
そうですね
That's right. We'd only been dating for a few days and had been busy with our club activities that whole time. We hadn't even had time to go shopping together. So today was our first date.
どこ行きます
Where are we going? To be honest, I don't have anything in mind. Is there anywhere you'd like to go, Asa?
私も別にないですね特に用事があったわけでもないですし
I don't have any places in mind either. I don't need to buy anything. I see. Well then, let's just go and look around various shops.
はいじゃあそれで
Okay, then let's go there. We were choosing random places to do some window shopping. Man, window shopping's fun. Like even if you just like go to a mall or something, like someplace with lots of cool stuff to look at. If you're with like maybe I mean I'm sure that's true in a date scenario if you're having a good time with your date, but like and I wouldn't know. I've never been on a date, but you know, but I can imagine, right? I can imagine. But even if you're hanging out with people you really like, if you're hanging out with friends or family or whatever, you don't have anywhere to be, there's no pressing issues, you can just take your time, just relax, you know? Window shopping can be really fun. Anyway, we already said that. We're good.
犬ですよ犬先輩見てくださいすっごく可愛いです
Well, a dog, senpai, look, it's so cute. Oh yeah, you like dogs, and Yoru likes cats.
一緒に来ると意見が割れるんですよね
We argue about it when we're together. Asa was very expensive, expensive. I was like, expensive? I thought she said she wasn't gonna buy anything. Anyway, Asa was very expressive and was constantly getting excited by various things. Walking around with her was fun. A rice cooking vacuum cleaner.
ああ先輩この掃除機すごい機能ついてますよ掃除機を稼働した時に発生した熱を利用して炊飯が可能らしいです
That's so weird. Why? Do you need to multitask that badly? Anyway, wow, senpai, this vacuum cleaner has an amazing feature. It uses the heat generated while cleaning to cook rice. I definitely wouldn't want to eat that. Attaboy. Wait, you would have to keep vacuuming the entire time the rice was cooking. Wouldn't that be too noisy?
でもちょっとしたロマンにも似た何かがありますよね
I love when she does that little face, dude. But there's something ambitious about it. As we wandered around the shops like this, we had a chance to find out each other's interests and come to understand each other even more. I already knew, but Asa had rather bad taste. Drooling dog.
ゆるキャラってやつですねすごいよだれ垂らしてますよこの犬好物はミニスカートを履いた女の子って書いてあります
Why? Oh my god. Wow. Anyway, it's a mascot character. Wow. This dog is drooling a lot. It's written here that its favorite food are girls in miniskirts? What the hell? What the hell? Anyway, it's the very existence of this thing is sexual harassment. Isn't that face awful? Its face? Wow, that's something.
でもちょっとその の気持ち悪さが癖になって心の奥底にあるめでたいという母性本能みたいなのがくすぐられているような気がします。
I was like, what the hell does that mean? But I could get used to its creepiness. I feel like it appeals to something, like the maternal instinct deep inside my heart. Huh? Asa, are you serious?
可愛くないのがツボというか、よだれとかずっと見てるとチャーミングな気もしますし。
He's like, Asa, are you sure? I think its lack of cuteness is its strong point. When I looked at that jewel for a while, I realized it's actually quite charming. I didn't quite understand Asa after all. But I guess that mysterious part of her was one of the reasons why she was so charming. We looked at shops with clothes, accessories, jewelry, CD stores, and various others. Asa and I wandered around here and there.
ちょっと本屋に寄っていいですか？集めている単行本の新刊が出てるんです。
Can we stop at the... I don't know why my brain's like, what is this word? Can we stop at a bookstore for a minute? The newest volume in a series I'm collecting just came out. Now that you mention it, there's one I want to pick up too. I'm pretty sure it was supposed to come out around the beginning of this month. I kept planning to buy it, but I hadn't gotten around to it.
先輩って普段どんな本読んでるんですか？そういえば部屋にたくさん漫画ありましたよね。
Hell yeah, Aoi, my boy. What kind of books do you usually read? Come to think of it, you have a lot of manga in your room. That's right. I've started reading a lot since I came back here. I have various interests, but my favorites are in the action genre and also manga about bicycles. I answered as I picked up the newest volume of a bicycle-themed manga that was lined up on the shelf. There were a lot of bicycle-themed series recently. It made me a little happy.
男の子プラス先輩って感じですね。
Senpai, you seem like a little kid. What about you, Asa? What do you like?
私はちょっと暗い話が好きです。
That surprises me. Well, actually, no, maybe not. Anyway, I like somewhat dark stories. Asa picked up a zombie manga from the sign-in section. I've seen that word. I don't know how to pronounce it, and I don't know what it means. But I know I've seen that word related to genres of like anime and stuff. Anyway, that was an unexpected choice.
人間の絶望感とか苦悩とかそういうのが好きなんです私。
Dark, I like it. Anyway, I like stories about human despair and suffering. I've seen same. I see. She was so mysterious.
あ、そうだ。今晩先輩の部屋に遊びに行ってもいいですか？先輩の好きな漫画が読みたいです。
Oh yeah, can I come to your room tonight? I'd like to read the manga that you like. You want to come to my room? I don't mind, but it's a guy's room, so it's dirty.
一度入っていますから。
I've been in there before. Oh yeah, she'd been living in my room for a while after she came to the dorm. Yoru was complaining a lot about it being dirty. Well, I don't mind. I'll try to clean it up a bit.
はい、楽しみにしておきます。
Yay, I'm looking forward to it. They're so cute, dude. It's so wholesome. Here you are.
ありがとうございます。
Or maybe it's like, here you are. Like maybe he handed her something. Wow, thank you. Oh yeah, yep, so he handed her something. So it was probably, here you are. Like, this is for you, you know? Anyway, I bought Haagen-Dazs for both of us and passed one to Asa, who was resting on a bench. It was her favorite super spicy, whatever that word is, style vanilla. That's super weird, dude. Can you imagine an ice cream being spicy? That's disgusting. I got a normal strawberry one for myself. My boy. I'm a sucker for strawberry. Anyone that knows anything about me, I just really like strawberry flavored things. But the thing is, I am incredibly picky. I think it must be an eating disorder, but I don't know what it would be called. But I'm incredibly picky, stupid picky, unreasonably picky. And there's lots of very normal, quote unquote, normal food that I don't like. But so for me, I can't have lots of things. I don't like chunks in things. Like for peanut butter, it can't be crunchy peanut butter. It has to be creamy peanut butter. Or like ice cream. If it was strawberry, I would want it to be like strawberry flavored, but there's no actual strawberry in it. Like I don't want chunks of strawberry in it. You know what I mean? Things like that. Anyway.
やっぱりこの辛さの中に潜むけなげな甘さがたまらなく美味しい。ありがとうございます、先輩。
I love when she does that little face, dude. It's so cute. This pure sweetness hidden within the spiciness is so unbelievably delicious. Thank you, senpai. It felt like she was like, is this like an Eminem verse? I feel like she was spitting bars for a minute. Your tastes are a little, how should I put it, unusual?
そうですか？
Really? Yeah. Really, very unusual.
先輩は へんてこな趣味がある女の子は嫌いですか？
He's like, there's nothing you could do to ruin how much I love you now. Anyway, do you dislike girls with weird taste? No, not at all. Don't worry about it.
よかった。安心しました。
Thank goodness, that's a relief. In fact, I think it's cute. If you ever told me you didn't like spicy stuff, I might stop liking you.
じゃあ私頑張ってその辛いものを好きな私でいます。
Obviously he's teasing her. Huh? Well then, I'll do my best to, keep liking spicy things. He's like, you're definitely cute, Asa. Cute little laugh that I can't replicate. So cute. To hide her embarrassed face, she quickly started eating her ice cream. That behavior was, yep, so cute.
そう何度も言われるとちょっと恥ずかしいです。嬉しいですけど。
Funnily enough, that's actually what she said. When you repeat it so many times, it's kind of embarrassing, but I'm happy. Look, it's like when you see a really cute animal. You just can't help saying how cute it is. Something like that.
私が動物と一緒なんですか？
That was a terrible comparison. Owie, what the hell? I'm like an animal? No, that's not what I meant.
じゃあ何ですか？何なんですか？
Then what was it? What did you mean? I'm like, backpedal, Owie, fix it. Asa started hitting me on the chest repeatedly. And that was cute too.
どうしました？
What is it? You've got some ice cream on your face. Huh? I reached out towards Asa's lips. I wiped the ice cream off with my finger and brought it to my own mouth. Yep, that ice cream really has a strange flavor. And she's like, damn, that was hot. What is it, Asa?
いや、なんだか今の
No, it's just...
すごく恥ずかしかったなって。
That was really embarrassing. He's like, Yeah, now that you mention it, it really was. He's like, I didn't even think about it. I just did it spontaneously, but now...
お返しです。
Payback. Huh? Asa scooped up some of my ice cream with her spoon and smeared it on my lips. Whoa!
取ってあげます。
I'll get that for you. Then she wiped the ice cream up with her finger and brought it to her mouth.
ストロベリーです。
It's strawberry. Payback. I didn't like to lose, so I also scooped up Asa's ice cream with my mouth and smeared it on her face. Aha! Yep, it's definitely a weird flavor.
お返しです。
Oh god, they're like having this big old fight back and forth. It's just like, alright, you two. Anyway, payback! Ha! My turn. Like, Asa.
はい。
Yes? What the heck are we doing?
何をやってるんでしょうね。
It's so true. They just like had this moment where like, what the hell's happening? Why are we doing this for so long? Good question. I did know one thing. People around us were giving us cold glances. They're like, what the hell's wrong with you two? Some were even glaring at us grudgingly. Let's go.
そうですね。
Good idea. They just like had this moment where they just forgot where they were, what they were doing. They're just like, got really aggressive. Like, oh crap, that's
今日も
awkward.
楽しかったです、先輩。
Today was fun, senpai. It's good to hear that asking you out was a success.
本当、先輩はいろんなものを私にくれます。先輩と一緒にいると楽しいです。
I really had so much fun with you, senpai. Being with you is so much fun.
ソアリングのみんなもですね。いっぱいいっぱい大切なものをもらって、夢を分けてもらって。
And with everyone from the Soaring Club, they've all given me so many precious things and shared their dream with me.
でも、先輩、本当に良かったんですか？
But is it really all right, senpai? What do you mean?
ちょっとだけ不安になるんです。私は結局、先輩には何も返せてないんじゃないかって。
I'm a little worried. After all, I haven't given anything back to you.
先輩はああ言ってくれたけど、やっぱり私は先輩たちみたいにすごくないし。
I know what you said before, but I still feel like I'm not as amazing as you and the others.
私は先輩にたくさん励まされたけど、
You've done so much to encourage me, and
ソアリング部のみんなにも。
and everyone in the Soaring Club too. I told you it's fine. I've chosen you, Asa. If you keep torturing yourself over this so much, I really might come to dislike you.
嫌です嫌わないでください先輩
No, please don't dislike me, senpai. Then have a little more confidence. I love you, Asa. I think everyone else likes you too, including Yoru, of course. So it's okay, got it? Yeah. They're so cute, dude. What a wholesome romance. Good God. Some kid's very upset. Suddenly, I heard a child crying.
先輩あれ
Senpai, over there. Asa pointed towards the source of the sound. I looked in that direction and saw a sobbing little boy. He looked about 6 or 8 years old.
迷子でしょうか
Maybe he's lost. I don't know, but we couldn't just ignore him. Asa and I walked over to the boy. He must have been crying for quite a while, even his nose was running. What's wrong? Huh? The boy was surprised that when we suddenly spoke to him. Sorry, you were crying, so,
逆上がりができなくて
he just like looks at him like, are you serious? Are you serious? He's like, I mean, sorry, not to like, you know, like disregard your problems, child, but I feel like just give it some practice, stick with it, I guess, or I don't know. I can't do a backwards flip on the bars. A backwards flip? The boy's eyes were still full of tears as he answered.
練習してたけどできなかったの
I practiced, but I can't do it. You practiced?
確か住宅街の中に小さな公園ありますよねそこじゃないでしょうか
If I'm not mistaken, there's a little park in the residential area here. Is that where you were? Nod. The boy nodded. I see. So, then why are you crying here? The boy came closer. He buried his face in my stomach, grabbed onto my uniform, and... Oh! You little brat! You little jerk! He blew his nose on Awie's uniform. Hey! It was the worst. He blew his nose on my uniform. Oops. Well, that didn't help. That didn't help. And then he burst out crying. Oh, come on.
先輩落ち着いてください男の子怯えてます
Calm down, senpai. You're scaring him. I almost felt like crying myself, though. Anyway, what should I do in this situation?
すみません
I'm so sorry. As I was wondering what to do, a woman came running towards us out of breath. She was young and pretty, in her late 20s, maybe?
すみませんそれうちの子なんです
I'm sorry. This is my boy.
お母さんですか
Ah, you're his mother? And he continues crying, Mama! The boy got away from my stomach and ran towards his mother.
よしよしほら大丈夫だから外で泣いてちゃ恥ずかしいわよ
He's like, thanks a lot. Your kid blew his nose all over my uniform. It's like, what the hell? There, it's okay now. Aren't you embarrassed to be crying out in the open? He's like, not really. He kept crying as he wanted his mother to hold him in her arms.
すみませんうちの息子がご迷惑をおかけしてしまったみたいであ
I'm sorry, it looks like my son was bothering you.
すみません服に鼻水がこの子ですよねごめんなさい
I'm sorry you've got snot all over your clothes. My son did that right. I'm so sorry. He's like, yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. Can't wait. I have to go home and wash this now. No problem. Don't worry about it. The woman pulled a handkerchief from her bag and wiped the snot from my clothes. That's disgusting. It wasn't very dirty, so I wasn't that upset about it.
この子公園で逆上がりの練習をしていたんですが何度やってもできなくて
He was practicing backwards flips in the park, but no matter how many times he tried, he couldn't do it.
周りの子はもうできてるものですからそれで悔しかったみたいで泣きながら走ってここまで
Other kids can already do it, so I guess he must have been really upset, started crying, and ran all the way over here. I see.
この子本当に泣き虫でして
He's a real crybaby. So it seems he was throwing a tantrum.
すみません本当に洋服はクリーニングして
I'm really sorry. I'll take your clothes to the cleaners and... no, don't worry. It's my uniform. I can clean it myself.
そうですよね。それも困りますものね。
Ah, I see. That would be a bother too.
じゃあ何かお礼でも。
Then can I offer you something? No, it's really okay. Don't worry about it.
でも
But she must be a really good person. But he hadn't really caused that much of a problem, so I'd feel bad if she gave me something. It's no big deal, really, but I appreciate the thought. Thank you for your concern.
わかりました。このご恩は決して忘れません。
Alright, I won't forget your kindness. She was really exaggerating this. The kid's still upset. The boy was still crying and he wanted to be held.
ねえ君
Hey, boy. Asa started talking to the boy. His crying quieted down a bit and he looked at her.
大丈夫練習してれば絶対にできるようになるから
It's okay. If you practice, I'm sure you'll manage to do it.
大丈夫だから
So it's okay. Yeah. He answered, though his voice was still quivering.
ありがとうございます。励ましていただいて。
Thank you for encouraging him.
いえその私も泣き虫なので応援したくなって
No, it's just that I'm a crybaby too, so I wanted to help him. With that, Asa came back to my side and took my hand.
じゃあ先輩行きましょうか解決したみたいですし
Well, senpai, should we go now? It looks like this is all settled. Yeah, I guess.
バイバイ
Bye-bye. Asa waved goodbye to the little boy. He also waved his hand a little in response. Well then, we'll be going.
本当にありがとうございました。
Thank you very much. We bowed our heads to the mother and walked away.
泣き虫
A crybaby. Hmm?
だからってのもあるのかもしれないですね
I guess that does come up from time to time. What does?
もしそうだと思ったら先輩にも教えてあげます
If it does come up, I'll tell you. What are you talking about?
それまでは内緒です
It's a secret till then. Interesting.
こんばんは約束通り遊びに来ました
Alright, she came to visit, but first I must resync. And don't worry about this whole resyncing thing. At the moment, my kind of goal is after we finish this playthrough for If My Heart Had Wings, once I finish it, it's probably I'll use the next playthrough as the transition point to switch to going back to my old system of combining audio and stuff. So this resyncing thing will not only continue as long as this playthrough. That's kind of what I've been thinking for a while now. And so at the moment, that's the plan. So then once this playthrough is over, then I'll switch to the new system, and then while I'm there, I might start doing research on bumping up all my stuff to 60 frames instead of 30, which is what I currently record in. I might look into that, and then I might upgrade my recording or my capture card too for my console stuff. It wouldn't be a terrible idea. Like it is the modern age. 30 frames is a tad subpar. 60 is really buttery smooth, so I might give that some thought. Anyway, resyncing. Okay, we're back. So yeah, I'm thinking I might upgrade all my setup soon. Now that I have a new professional grade microphone, it kind of makes me want to bring up the rest of my stuff to a higher grade, you know what I mean? Kind of felt like we updated everything. And I've never updated my Elgato. I've used the same recording software the entire time I've done YouTube. And I owned it before then. I owned it for a long time before then. I just never figured out how to use it. And then eventually I figured it out, but yeah, and I don't think my Elgato's capable of doing more than 30 frames, I don't think. And it's ancient. It's a very old thing. So I'm a little tempted to upgrade it and then get a newer, crispier 60 frames a second kind of system. Anyway, I'll give that some thought, but that might be coming. We'll see. Anyway, good evening. As I said earlier, I came to visit. Oh, Asa, welcome. Come on in.
じゃあ遠慮なく
Then I'm coming in. Just as we discussed, Asa came into my room.
今日はあまり散らかってないですね
It's not that messy today. I told you I'd clean up first. I did my best to make it all tidy.
なるほど
Ah, I see. I keep manga over there on that bookshelf. Come to think of it, what is Yoru doing?
今日はもう寝てます夜ちゃん最近ちょっと朝トレの量増やしたみたいでよく寝るんですよ
She's already asleep. Yoru's been doing more morning training lately, so she goes to sleep early. Morning training?
あれ先輩知らなかったんですっけ夜ちゃんって朝にジョギングしたり筋トレしたりするんです
Wow, she's so fit. Don't you know? Yoru goes jogging, does weight training and other stuff like that in the morning. Huh? Yoru does stuff like that?
はい昔は私も付き合ってやってましたけど 夜ちゃんがついてくるなって言い出して、それっきりで。
I wonder what that's about. Yeah, I used to do it with her, but she told me to stop following her, so I stopped. What time does she get up?
5時半くらいですかね。日が変わる前にはいつも寝てますよ。
About 5:30, I think. She's always asleep before midnight. Wow, how healthy.
6時間くらい寝てるのかな。最近はそれが7時間くらいになってるかと。
Man, that's not enough sleep. I often get about 7 myself. It's like 7.5, but I would get more if my body would fall asleep faster. Part of the problem is I sleep so like shallowly, like my sleep is almost never restful, so I'm like constantly battling like straight up insomnia because I sleep like crap all the time. Even though I go to bed on time and I fall asleep pretty quickly, but I wake up like way before my alarm, and then I'm only half of my whatever 7 hours is actually really restful, if at best. A lot of the time it doesn't do anything. All 7 of it, it was more or less a waste. You know what I mean? I'll only get a couple of like really solid hours. You know what I mean? Anyway, I think it's sleep apnea, in case you're wondering. Regardless, I think she sleeps about 6 hours a night, but lately it's been more like 7. Yoru has a very admirable lifestyle. But what is she training for?
夜ちゃんにとって所詮目的も手段ですから。
For Yoru, it's just a step towards another objective. What do you mean?
目的としているゴールすらもその上にある目的のための手段に過ぎないってことです。
Even the goals she's pursuing are just a means to reach further objectives. That sounds deep, but I don't really get it. Goals are means and means are goals?
気になるのなら本人に聞いてください。ただし浮気はダメですよ。
He's like, hey, like that's not. There's no cheating going on. First of all, and second of all, we're hoping there's a better resolution on that front in the next arc, huh? In the next, the next route. Anyway, if you want to know, you should ask her yourself. But you cannot cheat on me. No, I wouldn't cheat on you. Well, anyway, I did know that Yoru was an amazing person.
じゃあちょっと本見せてもらいますね。
Well, then I'll check out your manga, okay? Yeah, go ahead. Also took a look at my manga lined up on the bookshelf. On the shelf, sorry. Then she picked one volume. You read shonen manga too?
はい、雑食ですから。漫画もそうですし、小説もそうですし。
Yeah, I like all sorts of genres, for both manga and novels. You really like reading, don't you?
そしてホラー漫画とかグロとかが特に好きです。オカルティックなものも。
Wow, look at her, dude. She's so cool. Anyway, I especially like horrors and gory titles, and stuff dealing with the occult, too. That's a little gloomy.
でもこの部屋もホラー漫画結構あるじゃないですか。都市伝説図鑑や稲川の実録本まで。
But you've got a lot of horror manga. You've got a lot of horror manga here. There's even an urban legend encyclopedia and a book with Inagawa's authentic ghost stories. Yeah, those were already in the room when I moved in. They belonged to the previous manager, but I was told I could keep them. I couldn't bring myself to just throw them away, so I just kept them on my bookshelf.
それは羨ましいですね。買おうと思ってもなかなか難しいものがたくさんありますし。
I'm jealous. I wanted to buy plenty of these, but they're very hard to get. Is that so? If you want to take some, then I could give them to you.
いいんですか？読んだことない本なら割と何でも嬉しいです。
Could I? I'd be happy to get any books I haven't read yet. Sure, here are some ones I received when I moved in, so go ahead and take whatever you want. And if you want to read the others, I'll lend them to you.
ありがとうございます、先輩。
Yay, thank you, senpai. I mean, that makes sense. It's like not so much his thing, it doesn't sound like, and so it's like he's like, I just sort of kept them, but like I don't really care for them. Like they don't mean anything to him, but if she's a fan, it makes sense that she should take advantage of it. Asa excitedly browsed the manga. She took a few volumes and...
ベッドを借りてもいいですか、先輩。
Can I borrow your bed, senpai? My bed? He's like, sorry? Slump. She sprawled in my bed and started reading.
私こうやってゴローンってなって漫画を読むのが好きなんです。
This is gonna end in danger, can I just say? I like legs sprawled like this when I read manga. Yeah, I know, it feels so comfortable. Wait, I get that, but... I get it, but I can't believe she came to a guy's room and laid down on the bed like this. Even if we're a couple, isn't she too defenseless?
だけど
But... No, nothing.
変な先輩です。
You're acting strange. Come on, Aoi. Like, simmer down, my dude. She's far more innocent. She's far more innocent than that. Relax. If I said that, it would mean I've been looking about those kinds of things, or thinking, not looking. Anyway, I've been thinking about those kinds of things. Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
これ昔集めてた漫画なんです。 続きがあって助かりました。古い本だから本屋さんにもないし、通販だとプレミア価格なんてついてるし。
I used to collect this manga. I'm glad you have later volumes. It's an old series, so they don't have it in bookstores anymore, and its price in online shops is very high. Is that so? I didn't know its true value, but it appears that they are quite expensive now. It's so adorable, but also danger. Danger, Will Robinson, danger. Asa was flipping through the pages while humming happily. She looked so defenseless that just looking at her made my heart race. I mean, she was lifting her feet and I could see her panties. I know, it's trouble on the horizon. Wouldn't it be better to tell her about it? He's like, hey, Asa. Hey, darling. The only sound in my room was Asa flipping through the pages. Chuckling happily to herself. He's like, should I say something? Should I not? I should tell her. I have to tell her. He's just sitting there thinking about it, but he's not actually telling her. But Asa was reading so happily that I felt bad interrupting her. Oh, totally. Absolutely. Also, if I don't say anything, she won't notice that, right? So maybe I should keep quiet. Yeah, I mean, hey, like, all's fair in love and war, and, you know, it's just like, you know, like, whatever, live and let live, I don't know. But what if she realizes what position she's in, and he gets mad at me for not saying anything? I don't know what to tell you.
電車の中とかでパンチラを凝視しちゃうタイプなんですね。
Now he's having this like worst case scenario daydream on what might happen. Senpai, you're the kind of guy who stares at a girl's panties when you're on a train, aren't you?
別れましょう。
We're breaking up. He's like, could that happen? No, I can't let that happen. Hey, Asa. He's like, I can't risk it. I don't want her to hate me.
はい。
Yes?
その
Yeah? I can see your panties.
ごめんなさい。
I'm sorry. He's like, I thought about not saying anything, but I didn't want to risk you getting mad at me. Asa quickly got up.
すみません。お見苦しいものを見せてしまって。
I'm sorry, I showed you something unsightly. He's like, I don't care, I just didn't want you to be mad at me. No, it wasn't unsightly at all. Rather, it was quite a sight. Huh? Oh, wait, what did I just say? It's like, I mean, you were honest, like, I don't know. I mean, hey, don't they say honesty is the best policy? No, I mean, that is, He's like, well, I'm not mad, I just didn't want you to be mad at me. It's just silent.
そういえばこれちょうど読み終わったところだったんです。他の本取ってきますね。
That's right, I just finished reading this. I'll get another one. Yeah. She said that, got up, and hurried over to the bookshelf to put back the manga she was reading.
じゃあこれを読みます。これ面白そうですね。すごく怖そう。
Ah, yes, I'll read this one now. It seems interesting. Looks really scary. She took a new volume, this time from the horror section. It had a very grotesque image on the front cover. A book in a B6 format that was placed in the deepest part of the horror section. It had a cover that made normal people not even want to touch it. I don't know what B6 format means, but wait, that book is no, Asa, that one's no good. Huh? However, by the time I shouted it was already too late. Asa has already opened that porn book. B6 section, okay, like, I feel like that's probably a local thing, but wasn't it a horror? I'm so confused. Why is it a porn book all of a sudden? I don't know. Or maybe it was mixed in with the other ones, and I don't know, whatever. That's a porn book I hid in there a long time ago. I thought nobody would find it. It was so deep in the horror section, I thought it was safe. Oh, it's his. Oh, awkward. I thought it was safe, yikes. And she's like, wow, interesting. He's like, wait, what are you doing? Put it back, I'm sorry. I didn't think anyone would notice. I mean, honestly, like, the odds I felt like, I mean, you can see his logic. Like, you know, it's not very suspicious because it's buried in the rest of this horror section. Like, he doesn't look at him. And most people that go into his room, like, you know, it's just one book out of a whole bunch of books, all right? So you can follow the logic, but at the same time, I would have found a better spot. Anyway, so believe me, I haven't touched it in a long time. Wait, Asa, why are you reading it? And she's like, admittedly, I'm curious. And why did her face get all red?
やっぱり男の人って
What does that mean? So after all, guys are...
こういうことに興味があるんです。
Interested in this kind of stuff? Well, that's more or less. There's no way they wouldn't be.
先日のお風呂の時も私の体じーっと観察してましたよね。
I mean, how could he not though? Like, it was just there. How could he not? Anyway, the other day in the bath, you took a really good look at my body, right? I'm busted. I told you this was gonna end in trouble. The atmosphere became very awkward. Yeah, awkward. What should I do in a situation like this? My girlfriend found my hidden porn book and interrogated me about it. I know, awkward.
先輩
I imagine this is where she gets really forward with him because she's like, if it's you, it's fine, kind of deal. So, you know, senpai, what is it?
私も
I'm also
セックスに興味があります。
Hey, look at her being so brave, dude. I'm also interested in sex. Good for her. He's like, I'm sorry? What did Asa just say?
物語でそういうシーンとかいっぱい出てきますし、だから私も気になって。
Those kinds of scenes often happen in various stories, so I got interested in it.
毎日先輩にそういうことされないかなって思ってて、されたいなって思ってて。
I told you it was gonna end in danger. Anyway, and every day I wondered if you would do that with me. I wish that you would.
先輩と手とかつなぐとドキドキするんです。それでまた頭の中が先輩でいっぱいになって早く一つになりたいなとかそんなことも考えちゃって。
Now, obviously, so far, Asa's romance has been by far the most wholesome of all of them so far, by a landslide. You know, so it was bound to end eventually, right? Eventually, right? That something was gonna happen eventually. It was only really a matter of time. Anyway, and when we're holding hands, I'm so excited I can't stop thinking about you, and also how I want to become one with you already.
とにかく先輩とエッチしたくて。
She's so brave, dude. I'm so proud. Anyway, I want to, do lewd stuff with you. Asa just confessed something unbelievable. She's interested in sex. Wow.
それにずっと先輩のこと好きでしたし、でも先輩モテちゃうから早く私とエッチして独占権を行使しておきたいというか。
That's like the best possible way to phrase that, dude. I've liked you for a long time, but now that I'm your girlfriend, I want to use my exclusive rights to do lewd stuff with you. I mean, yeah, like that's such a great way to phrase that. Anyway, I mean, he's like, wow.
私は先輩とセックスがしたいです。
I want to have sex with you, senpai. He's like, okay, wow, that's a lot to take in. What can I say? Is there a single young man in this world who would keep his cool after hearing something like this? I highly doubt it. No, of course not. That was a rhetorical question. Asa? Senpai? Are you sure?
ここに来る時からちょっと覚悟は決めてました。
Before I came here, I had prepared myself a little. I see.
だから先輩。
So, senpai.
というわけで完成ね。
And so it's complete. It's not the only thing that completed. Heyo. Anyway. Sorry, that was like such a cringy way to come back. That was such a cringy way to come back in. Welcome back. It's been a while since we saw each other. So it was great. It was great. They were super cute together. Aoi was super duper romantic. Said some very, very nice things. And yeah, it was grand. They had a grand time. It was awesome. Anyway, so we're back. Like, it's funny because like those scenes are just long enough that like when I'm also like clicking through and I'm just like I often forget I'm recording, and so like because I'll be quiet for whatever the scene happens to be, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, whatever it is. Like I go quiet a long time, and so then it's like I go quiet a long time, and so then as I'm like watching and clicking through, like like I forget I'm making a video, and so like I'll skip through, and then after it's over, it'll be like, oh, I kind of feel it's been so quiet for so long, it feels weird to break the silence, Anywho, we're back. I need like a cold shower or something, and don't worry about that. It's fine, let's get to it. And so it's complete. I imagine she's talking about the glider and nothing else. Hooray! Agaha was shouting for joy. At last, it was finally finished. Our remodeled glider.
おめでとうみんな。やっとたどり着いたわね。ここまで。
Congratulations, everyone. We finally made it this far. Sniffle. Hey, isn't this a little too early to start crying? We haven't even flown it yet.
でも。
But,
鳥先輩、感極まりすぎ。
Bird Senpai, you're too emotional.
ああ、今日天音先輩が来れないのは残念だったな。仕事なんてサボってきちゃえばいいのに。
Yeah, she should have. What's up with that? Oh, it's too bad Amane couldn't come today. She should have just skipped work and joined us. You know she can't do that. She's not a student anymore. It's true that we all wish she could have seen the moment the glider was finished, though.
でもまあ、明日はとうとう。
But, well, tomorrow we'll finally... That's right, tomorrow we'll do the test flight. Naturally, we were making preparations for that as well.
これで飛べるんですね。
We can fly now, right? I think we'll still have to make some adjustments according to the results of the test.
結局あんまり役に立てなかったな。
I wasn't really helpful in the end. Sorry, too fast, but you know, whatever. Huh?
いえ、いろいろ先輩に励ましてもらいましたけど、やっぱり自分がそんなに役に立てたようには思えないので。
I mean, you all encouraged me so much, but I don't feel like I helped much at all.
何？またそんなこと言ってるの？
What? Are you still going on about that?
朝がいるおかげで夜が手伝った。みんなが頑張った。部活の雰囲気が良くなった。
Thanks to you, Yoru helped us out, and everyone was more motivated. You brightened up the whole club.
そういうのってね、すごく大事なことだと思うの。
I think that's really important.
私、昔空気を壊していたことあるから、なんとなくそう思うのね。
I can tell. In the past, I used to always ruin the mood.
私だって朝ちゃん手伝いたいってのがここに来てる理由の大半だしね。
I also think that your help is the main reason we made it this far.
でも私かき回してばかりでしたよ。
But haven't I caused nothing but trouble?
分かってないな。朝は
You don't get it, Asa.
そういう朝が心配だし可愛いからみんな頑張っちゃうのよ。
When you're worrying like this, you're so cute that everyone works harder than ever for your sake. Hmm?
年下は年上に迷惑をかけるためにいるの。そのくらいでいいのよ。
That's the spirit. Young people are meant to cause trouble for their elders. That's just fine.
そうそう。だから私たちだって頑張れるの。そういうの全部含めて楽しいなって思えるんだから。
Yep, that's what makes us do our best. And when we put it all together, it makes all of this so fun.
朝はこの部活には必要不可欠なマスコットなのよ。
Asa, you're our club's irreplaceable mascot.
マスコット？
Mascot? Mascot? That doesn't sound quite right. And, well, Yoru, me, and everyone actually did think like that about Asa. He's like, it's true, you just shouldn't say it. That sounds mean.
そうよ、姉さん。
Even Yoru. Yep, that's right, Nesan.
ヨルちゃん。
Yoru.
天才はマスコットになれないの。可愛くないからね。でもね。
There you go,
姉
that's
さ
the
んは
spirit.
可愛い。
A genius could never be a mascot because they're not cute, but you, Nesan, are cute.
褒められてる気がしない。
That doesn't feel like praise.
うんうん。朝ちゃんは可愛いからね。
Yeah, you're cute, Asa. She's like, great. We weren't just flattering her. Asa was doing her best in her own way. And this definitely had a good influence on our club. Knowing that we have friends, both older and younger, who were still working together on building the glider, made us feel more relaxed.
ありがとうございます。
Thank you.
私、散々葵先輩に励まされましたけど、それでもちょっとだけ不安になってました。
Ally has been encouraging me a lot, but I was still a little worried.
やっぱり役に立ててないんじゃないか。
I thought that I wasn't being helpful after all.
アゲハ先輩みたいに機械に強いわけでもないし、小鳥先輩やヨルちゃんみたいに頭も良くないし、葵先輩みたいに操縦できるわけでもない。
I'm not as good with machines as Ageha, I'm not smart as Kotori and Yoru, and unlike Aoi, I can't pilot the glider.
だから この部活に依存して一緒に夢を見てるような気になっているだけじゃないかって。
So I was worried that I'd been just depending on this club and everyone's dream. I mean, like, it does sound like it's a joke, but like, you know, in all reality, like, it is. I mean, she is important. She is important because, like, I mean, like, the atmosphere is very gloomy without her. You know, like, she makes everyone so happy just by being near and by contributing as she's able. But, like, I mean, she like, you know, lightens the mood of the room. You know what I mean? Like, it does sound like a joke, but just having her nearby is like the, you know, she's the happy vibes for the club, and without her, everyone feels all off balance. You know what I mean? And so it's like they need her nearby for that. You know what I mean?
まだそんなことを思ってました。
I still thought like that.
朝ちゃん。
Also,
でもそう言ってもらえて嬉しいです。
yeah, man, she's the good vibes. We need her. But what you all said made me really happy, and that's how it is, Asa. Whenever you feel uneasy, worried, or like you don't understand yourself, at times like that, just think about the Soaring Club. Can't you trust me, Kaneko, Kotori, Agaha, and especially Yoru?
いえ、そんなことは。
No, I can. Then you shouldn't think that what you're saying is wrong. If you that what we're saying is wrong. If you trust us and we say it's okay, then it's really okay. Think about it like this, all right?
先輩。
Senpai.
さすが彼氏は違うわね。
As expected, a boyfriend is on a completely different level.
臭さが違うよね。
His
根本的に。
his cheesiness definitely is. Shut up. Anyway, that's how it is. Okay. Aw, it's so cute, dude. So adorable. After that, while we were all delighted by the completion of the glider, we started making preparations for tomorrow's test flight. After we had reached the goal of remodeling the glider, it was time to start preparing the flight plan. Kotori took Agaha, Kaneko, and Asa and left the dock to go to the local shrine to pray for tomorrow's test flight success. As for me, I was practicing for the test flight on the simulator by myself. I was doing it for quite a while already, so... but I'm a bit tired. I guess I'll take a break. I went outside and looked up at the Windmill Hill. But there was someone here besides me.
お疲れ様です。
Good work. Huh? Yoru, so you haven't gone home. Asa and the others had invited Yoru to go with them, but she said it was too much of a bother, and since there was nothing left to do at the club, she'd left.
別にすぐに帰るなんて言ってませんし。ここで風車を眺めていたんです。
I never said I was gonna go straight home. I've been here watching the windmills.
それとも私がセンチメンタルになっちゃいけません。
What, can I get sentimental sometimes? No, I never said that. Sentimental, huh? Well, I did think that it didn't suit Yoru.
ありがとうございます。
Thank you. Hmm?
姉さん、最近すごく元気がいい。自信も取り戻せてるみたいです。以前より前向きになった気がするわ。
Nasan has been really well lately. Looks like she's regaining her confidence too. I think she's become more proactive than before. Ah, well, yeah. And I also got better thanks to Asa.
そうですか。それは何よりです。
I'm glad to hear you say that. Like I said before, it's because Asa is really positive. When I'm around her, it lifts my spirit, and she's cute.
マスコットですもんね。
She's our mascot after all. Yeah, our mascot.
そういうのは私には無理ですね。
That would be impossible for me. You said that earlier too.
私は人を安心させられません。だからそういうタイプではないです。
I don't make people feel at ease. I'm just not that kind of person.
私は常に走り続けるタイプ。
I'm the type who keeps on running. The type who keeps on running. Yoru might be right.
私はほら天才ですから。
Look, I'm a genius after all.
天才は走り続けなきゃいけないんです。誰かの目標になるために。
And geniuses have to keep on running to set a goal for someone else.
姉さんは私に嫉妬してくれていたわけでしょ。私はどこかでそういう私でなければならない。
Nesan is jealous of me, right? I have to be worthy of her envy.
そう考えています。
That's how I see it.
私は姉さんが目指すべき道筋を作り続けます。大きなことをなします。そうして私は私で。
I'll keep making the path for Nesan to follow. I'll accomplish something great. With this, I will... Yoru? Yoru was gazing far away. Somehow she looked lonely.
とにかく私は大きなことをなします。
Anyway, I'll accomplish something great. Oh, I want to get to her romance so bad, dude. I feel so bad for Yoru. Like, I love her so much. I just want her to be happy. And anyway, like, I want to get to the next route so bad I could just scream. Anyway, I will accomplish something great.
そしてその時先輩は私を振ったことを後悔するわ
And then you'll regret turning me down. What the? Her tone was a little sharp. Her words stung a little.
嫌味です私を振ったことに対する
It's sarcasm. That's what you get for rejecting me. Sorry.
謝らないで傷つきます
Don't apologize. It hurts my feelings. Then what should I do?
さあ
Who knows? Huh?
私にこれをネタにいじられ続ければいいんじゃないですか
I'll keep teasing you about that. Huh? Unexpectedly, Yoru might be the type to hold a grudge. Yeah, well, you know.
でもいよいよですね
Only to the next route, I swear. And then we're gonna fix things, man. She's gonna be happy. But it's finally time. And she's not gonna be lonely anymore. I just want her to be happy. I can't wait till the next route. I could just die.
フライトここまで頑張ってきた甲斐もあったってもんじゃないですか
For the flight, that will be the results of all your hard work up until now, right? Huh? Yoru, are you rooting for us?
私が応援したらまずいですか
Is there something wrong with that? No, I haven't said that.
成功するといいなっておぼろげながらそう考えてます情が移ったんですかね
While it's faint, I do hope it will be a success. Your enthusiasm must have rubbed off on me. Thank you. I'm glad you're rooting for us.
せいぜい落ちないように頑張ることですね
Just do your best not to crash. Okay.
先輩お願いが
Senpai, I have a favor to ask. What is it?
テストフライト姉さんを乗せてあげられませんか
It's about the test flight. Could you take Asa on it? That's what I intended to do, of course, if she wants to. It's not that we weren't planning to make the only one test flight. If possible, I'd like to let everyone give it a try.
そうだったらいいですありがとうございます
I see. That's good then. Thank you. You really care about your sister. Even that favor related to the test flight was all about her sister. You can fly in it too if you want.
別に私は興味ないですし
I'm not particularly interested. Really. Sometimes Yoru isn't completely honest.
ただ姉さんは飛ぶべきだと思ってるから
I just think that Neisan should fly. She should fly.
そう飛ぶべきだからお願いします
Yes, she should. So please take her. Okay, I got it. Leave it to me.
落ちないようにお願いしますね
And please don't crash. We won't. I'll be careful.
そうならいいです
Alright, I'll see you then.
人間は鳥に憧れますが鳥にとって飛ぶことは当たり前ですだからそれでいいんです
Humans admire birds, but to birds flying is something natural, so that's good enough. Hmm?
地を這う人が飛んでこそ価値があるってことですよ
I mean that when earthbound humans manage to fly, it does have value. Aw, that's so sweet, dude. The feels.
じゃあ先輩これ水にさらしておきますね
But before we rinse with water, we must resync. Senpai, I'll rinse these with water now. Yeah, thanks. And it'd be a big help if you could wash the burdock root as well.
あだったら私ごぼう切るのチャレンジしていいですかきんぴら用ですよね
Ah, in that case, I'll try. Can I try cutting the burdock too? It's for Kinpira, right? Ah, sure. Thanks. It's not so hard if you don't use much strength. All right. After dinner, when everyone else had gone back to their rooms, Asa and I started cooking again. It was for tomorrow's breakfast. Tomorrow, we will have to get up early for a test flight, so we decided to start breakfast preparations the night before. We had decided to pack our breakfasts up and eat them together when we arrived instead of getting up earlier to eat at home. As for the other dorm residents, we prepared some food that only needs to be reheated so that they can prepare it themselves. You've really gotten better at cooking lately, Asa. You're a real big help in the kitchen.
だって私先輩の良きパートナーになる人ですもん
I'm gonna become a good partner for you, Senpai. I'm really happy to hear that. I have high expectations. Asa smiled carefreely. Aw, man, she's so cute.
さてさてほら張り切って作っちゃいましょう先輩美味しいもの食べた方が 多分グライダーだってうまく飛びます。
Come on, let's go all out with this breakfast, Senpai. If you eat something delicious, even flying will go smoothly. You're really fired up, Asa.
そりゃそうですよ。だってあれが空を飛ぶんですから。
Of course I am. Our glider is going to fly after all. And you too. Hmm? I'm planning to take you on the test flight, you know.
本当に私も乗れるんですか？
Huh? You'll really let me fly too? Asa was surprised. Since we have to test it, we'll be doing plenty of flights. It would be a waste if you didn't try it, or maybe you don't want to.
いえ、乗れるならぜひ乗りたいです。その私眺めているだけだと思ってたので。
No, if I can, then I definitely want to fly. I thought you'd only let me watch.
本当に乗ってもいいんですか？
Really? I can fly it? As long as nothing interrupts the test, it's okay. Let's fly together. Huh? Why are you crying?
いや、嬉しくて。
No, I'm so happy. When she said that, tears overflowed onto her cheeks. You're such a crybaby.
だって嬉しいじゃないですか。実際に空が飛べるなんて。
But I'm so happy to think that I can really fly in the sky.
私憧れてましたから。その空に。
I've always longed for it, to fly in that sky. You told me that once.
はい。だから実際にそこにまっすぐな目線で届くんだって分かったら、それは嬉しいですよ、やっぱり。
Yeah, so when I think that I can really reach that place that I can only gaze at from so far away, of course I'm happy. If you're so happy just thinking about it, then I want to fly with you tomorrow even more.
はい。
Yeah. So wholesome, dude. Whew. I went outside of the dorm to cool off a bit. Kaneko was there.
お、葵くんだ。
Oh, Aoi-kun. What were you thinking going outside like this? Really now?
大丈夫だって。この時間にこの辺人は来ないし。
It's alright. Nobody comes here at this hour. No way. It would be a huge issue if anyone did show up, so please cut it out.
もしかして葵くん焼いてくれてんの？そっか。私の下に見知らぬ人に見られたくないから？
Ah, Aoi-kun, could it be that you're jealous? I see. You don't want anyone else to see me in my underwear.
ちょっと嬉しいかも。
I think I might be a little happy. Ugh, think what you want. Just stop doing that. I'm begging you. This was getting quite troublesome, so I just gave up and answered like this. Attaboy.
うまくいってるみたいだね。
Looks like everything is going well. Hmm?
朝ちゃんと。
With Asa? Yes, it is. Well, at the very least, I really do love her very much.
うわー、死んでほしい。
Oh, I want to die. Whoa.
臭すぎて香水を振りかけたくなった。独り身の女には辛いわ。
That was so cheesy that I'd need some perfume to get rid of the stench. Being a single woman is tough. You brought up this subject yourself.
まあ、そうね。そうだった。自業自得か。そうよね。葵くんにそのこと聞いたら堂々と死にたくなるようなこと言ってくるに決まってるわよね。
Well, I guess you're right. I reap what I sow. I should have known that if I asked you about something like this, you'd say something so embarrassing I'd want to die. Have I really said something that bad?
でもまあよかったかな。うまくいっててお姉さんとしてはかなり安心。
But I'm glad that it's going so well. I'm like an older sister to them, so I feel relieved. You sure have been watching over those two, Kaneko.
それにほら二人が入れ替わって吸ったもんだあった時って言ってしまえば私がきっかけみたいなとこあったわけじゃない？
Besides, when all the fuss happened after they switched places, I was the one who triggered all of it, wasn't I?
だからね、ちょっと責任感じてまして。
So, I feel a bit responsible. Ah, I see. Oh yeah, there was that thing too. It had happened fairly recently, but it felt like a distant memory to me. It must be because the last few days were so intense. So many things had changed, with the club, with Asa.
リベンジ。そう言ったじゃない？朝ちゃんたちのこと。
I wanted to try again. I told you that, right? With Asa and Yoru? Because you failed with Katori, right? Yeah, I think she mentioned that before. She didn't manage to get along with Katori, so she was eager to try it again with the twins.
今回もなんだかんだで葵くんがあの二人の心を掴んだ気がするからちょっと悔しい。
And you did it again. You captured their hearts. That's a little frustrating. Huh? I didn't really mean to.
人たらしだと思うな葵くんは。
I didn't think you were such a swindler, Aoi-kun. But it's thanks to you watching over them that they finally opened up to us. It wasn't just me. We have become closer not only with Asa, but even with Yoru, to the point where she started taking part in our club activities. It was thanks to both everyone in Kaneko, who was always taking the initiative, taking a major role here.
私の心もね。
And my heart too. Huh? Did Kaneko just whisper something totally unthinkable? Kaneko's heart too, or that would mean...
なんてそれは冗談。
Nah, just kidding. Don't surprise me like that. I'm already quite shaken by all these things that are going on lately.
葵くんはモテるもんね。
You're so popular, Aoi-kun. Ugh.
羨ましい。
I'm jealous. Yoru was teasing me just a while ago, and now Kaneko's doing it too. Today was an unfortunate day.
私ね、人に嫌われるのが苦手なんだ。
I don't handle it well when people dislike me. You don't?
そう。だから人に近づくのが怖いの。こちらに好意を持っているかもわからない相手だとなおさらね。
Yeah, so I'm scared of getting too close to anyone, especially when I'm not sure if they have good intentions. You don't seem like that at all. I've always thought you were very sociable. She seemed to have great interpersonal skills.
そうね。多分それは私の素。だからなの。
That's probably how I was in the past, and that's why.
私いつもこんな調子で人に接しちゃうからさ。ある日その仲間外れにされたことがあって。
Because I was always approaching people like this, one day I ended up cut off from my friends. You did.
慣れ慣れしくしすぎちゃったんだろうね。あいつうざくねみたいな感じでクラスの女の子からのけ者にされて。
Poor Kaneko, dude. She's so nice. How could anyone be mean? Anyway, yeah, I was acting too overfamiliar, and the girls in my class started shunning me as if I was annoying them.
まあもうそれは昔の話なんだけど、それがちょっちトラウマでさ。
Well, it was a really long time ago, but it was a little bit traumatic. I couldn't have guessed Kaneko had that kind of past.
だから私に好意を持ってるって確信できない人に近づくのが怖いんだ。また嫌われたらどうしようって、そんなことばかり考えちゃって。
That's why I'm scared to get close to anyone unless I'm absolutely sure that they will like me. I keep worrying that they'll end up hating me.
だからね、人懐っこくてもどこか一線引いてたし、そう振る舞っていても近づきすぎないようにはしてたし、小鳥ちゃんのことだってね。
So my friendliness has had its limit. Even when I acted familiar, I was careful not to get too close, even with Kotori. I see. Kotori wasn't really shunned. She was too touchy. That's why nobody around her was trying to get closer to her.
まあでもそれもそれで良くないなって葵くんのこと見てたら思えたからさ。
But that was no good. I thought so when I saw you, Aoi.
ああそっか。私小鳥ちゃんとずっと仲良くしたかったんだなって。分かっててそうできなかったんだなって。
I realized that I'd always wanted to get along with Kotori. I knew that, but I couldn't do it. Kaneko.
なんかね、悔しかったの。自分で自分に負けたみたいでさ。一度失敗したからって怯えて人付き合いにブレーキかけて。
It was frustrating. Oh, too fast. Sorry, too fast. Just a hair. Well, one word too fast, but you know, whatever. It was frustrating. It felt like I'd lost to myself. I was scared because I had failed once. I had put the brakes on my own sociability, so...
こうやって今みんなと仲良くできてて、私はすごく幸せ。
I'm really happy that now I'm getting along with everyone like this. I understood very well what Kaneko was saying.
だからね。だからなの。だからこそ、夜ちゃんもだけど、朝ちゃんを応援したくなっちゃう。
But that's the reason. That's why I wanted to support Yoru, and especially Asa. Asa?
きっとね、こういう思いを背負ってくれる子だから。
Yeah, I'm sure she felt the same way I did. What do you mean?
朝ちゃんがどういう境遇で、どういうことがあって、ちょっと自信なさげなのかは知らないけど。
I don't know her circumstances and why she lacks self-confidence.
あの子には胸を張って空を飛んでほしいわけ。私だってこうしてリベンジできたわけだからさ。
I just wanted to fly in the sky with pride, because that's another chance for me too.
そういう思いをあの子に託したい。
I want to entrust her with those feelings. Kaneko, another chance. Since Asa always gets depressed over her own imperfections and is jealous of other people, she certainly might need those kinds of feelings.
なんちゃって
Just kidding. Don't turn it into a joke. You finally said something reasonable there.
ダメだね私シリアス苦手だわ
No way. I'm bad at being serious. And I got a bit impressed there.
真面目にやりすぎると私らしくないじゃないそういうことにしといてよ
But isn't being too serious unlike me? Yep, let's leave it at that. With an embarrassed smile, Kaneko desperately tried to pass it all as a joke, when obviously she was being very sincere there. She just, like, you know, she even said she's bad at being serious. But, like, you know, like, I feel so bad for her, dude. Like, I'm so happy that, you know, I'm happy that she's, like, finally got a blend and everything else. But, like, you know, there's lots of good takeaway messages from that little exchange. She always plays dumb, but deep down, she might be a very serious person. Well then, I'll be getting back to my room. I've got to take a bath to prepare for tomorrow.
明日の準備してお風呂に入るの順番逆じゃない
Huh? You gonna prepare in the bath? Didn't you make something up? That's, well, I was at a loss for words.
なんだか怪しいな
That's kind of suspicious. There's some stuff I have to do. Pay it no mind.
いろいろね
Some stuff, huh? Anyway, I'm going back to my room. He's like, don't worry about it. That's right. I made a promise.
先輩来ましたよ
Senpai, I'm here. Asa came into my room. She had bathing stuff and a change of clothes. Let's get going then. If we don't go in soon, we'll have no time left to sleep.
そうですね
Yeah. I also got ready for the bath and put my hand on the doorknob. Oh, are they? Oh, wow. Are they like? It's gonna be a team effort, or like, is that what's happening here? Wow. Seems aggressive. Like, I don't know what promise he was talking about. Are they gonna have a moment? Wait a second. Wouldn't it be better if we went separately? If someone saw us on the way, it would be a problem.
そうですねじゃあ先に私が行きましょうか
That's true. Then I should go first? Yeah, go ahead. We'll meet in the bathroom.
はいお待ちしています
Okay, I'll be waiting, she said and went out of my room. Oh yeah, we should make sure to go out separately as well. Our promise. It was to take a bath together. By the way, it was Asa who proposed that. However, if someone finds out, we will be in trouble. Considering that I am the manager, it's already an issue that I'm disturbing public morals like this. But there's no way I'd refuse Asa's invitation, is there? I muttered an excuse, not that anyone was asking though. Yeah, that's right, there's no way I'd turn her down. Well then, I guess it's time to go. Wow, what a stud, dude.
さーて先輩お背中お流ししますねゴシゴシゴシゴシ痛くないですか
Well, I mean, at the moment, this slide's far. I bit my tongue. This slide is fine and everything, but there's no way it's gonna stay all super wholesome like this. You know what I mean? So no doubt I will have to. I'll have to be skipping out before long. Hang on, that's not right. We can do this. There we go. Okay. Anyway. So yeah, I will, I mean, I guess we could try one slide farther, but I don't imagine it's gonna go very well. I imagine I'll have to cut away. Okay, senpai, I'll wash your back. Rub, rub, rub. Does it hurt? Why would it hurt? What are you scrubbing it with? A steel toe brush? Or steel wool brush? Whatever. No, don't worry, it feels great.
よかったですかゆいところはあります
That's good then. Does it feel itchy anywhere? Yeah, over there. Just under my armpit. Solid!
この辺ですねじゃあ万歳をしてください
Over there. Please lift your arms. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt I'll be cutting away any minute. I got into the bathroom with Asa, and now she was washing my body for me. Oh, that's nice. She said she wanted to do this.
やっぱり先輩たくましい体してますよね惚れ惚れしちゃいます
Yep, you have a really tough body. I admire it. Is that so? Thanks. Since I used to exercise all the time, I was confident about my body, but hearing her praise it made me happy nonetheless.
この辺とかもすっごく肉付きよくてすごいです
You have a lot of muscle around here. Yep, it's amazing.
なんだか楽 しいですね、こういうの。
Suspicious? I'm just waiting for the cut any minute. This is kind of fun. Asa, you're surprisingly proactive.
そうですか？せっかく先輩とそういう関係になったんですから、いろいろやってみたいなって思っただけですが。
Really? Since I'm finally in a relationship with you, I want to try various things.
じゃあ今度は前も洗いますね。先輩、前を向いてください。
Okay, I'll wash your front now. Senpai, face this way. Ah, here it comes. Okie dokie. Welcome back. It's been a once again, it's been a little bit. Like I said before, when something happens that long, I forget I'm making a video and time passes and it's just like it feels weird to disturb the quiet again, but we're back. They're both freaks, and I'm here for it. Anyway, so you know, it was funny though too because like things were getting a little loud, not gonna lie, and obviously everyone's home, so it's like, you know, everyone's still there, that they all live there, and like I think what was it, Asa? I think it might have been Asa. She's like, you know, hey, we got to be quiet, like we can't make so much noise. And then like it was funny because they were both like past the point where they really cared like at all, and so it was like, and then Aoi was just like super duper disregarded it. He's like, well, I guess we'll have to think of an excuse, and he just immediately just like completely ignored it. I was just like, I mean, hey, like shoot, I get it, man. Anyway, so you know, they're both freaks, just like with all of the different arcs. Everyone goes crazy for him, and hey, the matches are so good, I don't even blame him. Anyway, moving on. Birds that fly in the sky can't possibly understand the feelings of earthbound humans, because birds have wings.
朝、人がなぜ空に憧れるか知ってるか？
Asa, do you know why people long for the sky so much?
それはね、人が飛べないからだよ。人は翼を持たない生き物だ。人はね、届かないものに憧れ、強く求める。
It's because people can't fly. Humans don't have wings, but they admire and strongly long for the place they cannot reach.
だからこそ朝はね、きっとそういうものを求める人たちの気持ちが人一倍わかるだろう。
And I'm certain you can understand the feelings of those people more than anyone else.
朝のいいところはね、多分そういうところだ。朝はきっとそういう人間になれるから。
I think that's one of your strong points, because I'm sure you'll become such a person yourself. Yes, I understand. I understand, Grandpa. I know how those words. I know how those people feel. The regrets of those who want to fly but can't. That's why I... poor little Asa, dude. Yeah, probably, you know, going ham bone with his girlfriend. Just going off with his girlfriend for, like, 5 sessions in a row. Might have been a bold decision. Like, when he needs to have so much energy for test flighting. Anyway, whatever. I mean, hey, I would absolutely have done the same thing, so I don't blame him. Anyway, morning. Awakened by a piercing sound of an alarm clock, I stretched my half-asleep body. We're going to start today's test flight in the morning. We didn't know how many occasions we would have to test the glider in favorable conditions before the morning glory appears. According to the weather forecast, today would be perfect for a flight. Considering that such conditions are quite rare, we were determined to get as many results as possible. That's why we wanted to start so early in the morning. Senpai, are you awake? Asa? Good morning, Senpai. Asa came into my room. She'd already gotten dressed. What's the matter? It looks like you're all ready to go.
いえ、早く目覚めちゃったものですから。そろそろいい時間でしたし、先輩を起こそうかと。
Well, I just woke up early and I thought it was about time, so I came to wake you up.
どうも緊張して早く目覚めちゃったみたいです。
I must have woken up so early because I'm nervous. You really look forward to flying, aren't you? You're really looking forward to flying, aren't you?
はい。昨晩寝る前くらいから胸のドキドキが止まらないんです。それで昨日は少し寝つきが悪くて羊を何度も数えたり。
Yes, I was so excited that when I went to bed last night. Because of that, I couldn't sleep and I counted so many sheep. Aha. That's just like Asa. She's so cute.
疲れることしてたんで、なんとかぐったりと慣れたのが いでした。
But I was completely exhausted, and it helped me fall asleep in the end. Exhausted? Huh, yeah, I guess.
そうです。
That's right. Asa's face turned bright red. By the way, I was also so tired after yesterday's bath that when I went back to my room, I immediately collapsed onto my bed. My body seems a bit sore too.
すみません。私のせいですよね。
I'm sorry, it's my fault, right? Oh, it's fine. It's just a little muscle pain, that's all. Besides, if I could, I'd love to do it with you every day. Hell yeah, my boy. And so we started our morning with such an embarrassing conversation. Well done. We have a whole day to look forward to.
とにかく私は準備できましたので、ちょっと他の方々の様子も見てきますね。
Anyway, I'm ready to go. I'll check up on the others. Okay. I also rushed out of my room. Wait, what are we doing first thing in the morning? Yeah, you know. Only a whole day to look forward to after that. I entered the dining room. Asa and Yoru were already there. They were sitting at the table and drinking tea.
あ、先輩、準備終わったんですね。
Senpai, you ready? Yeah, I washed my face, brushed my teeth, and I'm ready to go anytime. Good morning, Yoru.
おはようございます、先輩。
Good morning, Senpai. I see you got up early too?
姉さんが起きるのにつられちゃって。そりゃ横でもぞもぞ動かれたら、こっちだって目を覚ますわよ。
When Ne-san got up, I just tagged along. That is, she was moving so much that she woke me up. Ha, so she woke you up.
そう。姉さんったら、夕べからずっとそわそわして、落ち着きがないんです。
Yes, Ne-san has been restless since last night. She won't calm down.
夜ちゃん。
Yoru.
まあ、あんな夜遅くにずいぶんと長くお風呂入ってたみたいだし、眠気も吹っ飛んで当たり前とは思うけど。
Yeah, you know, I was about to say that they were not exactly subtle. Not exactly subtle. Anyway, but it seems she took an awfully long bath late last night, so I suppose it's only natural that she had trouble sleeping.
ね、先輩。
Right, senpai? Yeah, see? We didn't fool her for a second. Like, not for a moment. Why are you asking me?
別に、ただ先輩なら知ってるのかなって思っただけです。
No reason, I just thought you might know something. Did she find out?
あ、姉さんからは何も聞いてないですよ。ただの推測です、推測。ね、姉さん、どうなんですか？
Yoru's so straightforward, dude. I love her. Ne-san didn't tell me anything, okay? This is just my guess. So, Ne-san, how was it?
昨日はちょっとお風呂が長かっただけだよ。そんなの先輩が知るわけないじゃない。ねえ先輩。
Good cover. I just took a little longer bath yesterday. Senpai wouldn't know that, right, Senpai? Of course not. There's no way I'd know. Yeah, she's like, uh-huh, I believe you. Nothing happened, really. She's like, yeah, the hell nothing happened.
だから何もないって言ってる。
We said nothing happened.
ま、いいです。
Oh well, whatever. Whew. Seems like she stopped pursuing the subject.
目がしょぼしょぼする。
Oh, I'm so bleary-eyed. At this point, Katori arrived into the dining room with a pained expression.
朝早すぎじゃない。頭痛い。ご飯食べれそうにないから、朝ごはんはパスで。
Oh, isn't this far too early? My head hurts. I don't think I could eat right now, so I'll pass on breakfast. It's fine. We packed breakfast to take with us. We'll eat it there when we get hungry.
え、本当？ああ、それで昨日朝とご飯を作ってたのね。なるほど。
Huh? Really? Ah, that's why you were cooking with Asa last night. I see.
そういうことです。
That's right. Here, Katori. Here's your share.
わーい、ありがとう、葵くん。
Yay, thanks, Aoi.
みんな、おはよう。
Morning, everyone. Just then, Kaneko turned up as well, in her underwear.
じゃあ準備もできたし、行きましょうか。
Again, I
みんな揃ってるみたいですね。
disagree. Like every arc it comes up, but just disagree, dude. It's a nightgown, not even underwear. Disagree. It's not the same thing. Anyway, all right. Looks like everyone's ready, so let's get going. No way in hell,
かなこさん、ありえませんから。
Kaneko. That's impossible.
何が？
What is?
気づいてないの？
You haven't noticed?
気づいてないって？
Noticed what?
いや、その服を着てないです。いや。
That you're not wearing any clothes?
あ、じゃあ 寝ぼけてたか。
Okay, first of all, she is wearing clothes. She's wearing a nightgown. Anyway, whatever. Oops, guess I'm still half asleep. Oh, come on, that's no excuse. It's like, come on, people, wake up. First, we went to the secret base to get our glider.
おはようみんな。
Morning, everyone.
おはよ
Good morning. Senpai and Agaha were already there. Apparently, Senpai had taken the day off work today.
う。見てよあれ。綺麗な空。これはいい感じじゃない？
Look at that, such a beautiful sky. Doesn't it make you feel good? Yep, it's a perfect sky for flying. The beautiful clear sky wasn't entirely blue. It was dotted with a few clouds, and there was a faint wind, too. A completely quiet sky would be a problem, just like an overly windy one. But today, the sky's mood was just right for a test flight. Apparently, the god of the sky was supporting us. Okay, let's get our glider first.
あ、
Let's get our glider out first. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, I misspoke. We proceeded with the flight preparations, taking a break for breakfast partway through. We attached towing rope to the glider, checked the airframe, and confirmed the flight plan with everyone. Agaha was teaching Asa how to use the winch. Yoru was watching them from the side. This will be their first experience with flying, so there was a lot they didn't know. Even if only Katori and Agaha would be operating the winch, there was no harm in teaching them.
去年は私たちもあんな感じだったわよね。やることなすことすべて新鮮で緊張して。
We were just like that last year. Everything was so new and we were so nervous. You're not nervous now, Katori?
当然よ。
Of course I am.
ドキドキしすぎて死にそうなくらい。
My heart's pounding so hard I could die. What a coincidence, mine too. I was so nervous I couldn't stop sweating.
朝乗せてあげるんでしょ？
You'll take Asa for a flight, right? Why do you ask?
いいやね。あの子も飛ばないとダメだと思うから。
Well, I just think she really has to fly. Yeah? Why?
ほら、あの子って私とさ。
You know, apparently she...
お、やってるな。
Hey, Mabo, you little jerk! I want to know what she was gonna say! Anyway. Oh, you started already. Huh? Mabo. One by one, some visitors had arrived.
どうやら順調みたいね。
Hell yeah. Hey, Akari, how the hell you doing? Anyway, looks like it's going smoothly.
あかりんまで。あ、ひょっとして私たちの活躍を見に来てくれたわけ？
Ooh, Akarin too. Ah, did you come here to oversee our activities?
違うわ。あんたたちの活躍を気にしてないこともないけど、今日はお客さん。
No, it's not that I'm not interested in your activities, but today we brought a visitor.
お客さん？
A visitor?
お久しぶりです、皆さん。
Oh, it's that little boy's mother. What a little coinkydink. It's been a while, everyone. If I remember correctly.
お久しぶりです。
And the little kid too. What a funny coinkydink. Long time no see. I mean, technically long time no see, but obviously I don't see much of anything other than this pretty field, but whatever. The visitors Akari brought were the mother and son we'd met before. It was that crybaby who Asa and I had met during our date and his mother. Apparently they'd figured out that we were from Keifu Academy based on the uniforms we'd been wearing.
それでソアリング部で活動しているという話を伺ったものですから。
And then I asked about the activities of the soaring club. You asked about it, did quite a bit of searching.
事情を聞いた上で先生たちが生徒会に回してきたのよ。で、特徴やら何やらの話を聞いてたら、水瀬君と風戸さんなんじゃないかなって話になったわけ。
Oh man, it's going around, dude. No, everyone knows now that Aoi and I can't. Obviously, her last name is Kazuto. Asa. Anyway, I couldn't remember her first name, dude. And Asa are an item now. It's no secret now. Anyway, the teachers asked around in the student council. When we heard some details, we thought it must be Minase and Kazuto. I didn't think we stood out that much.
夏休み中に制服で旧市街から飛び放送に向かって帰宅する男女2人組。女の子は男の方を先輩って呼んでて、何より男は朝ちゃんって呼んでる。
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, when she lays it out like that, it's a little obvious. Anyway, a boy and a girl wearing school uniforms during summer vacation were walking towards Flying Fish Manor. She called him senpai, and he most importantly, he called her Asa.
そりゃ確定的だ。
That makes it pretty obvious. Yeah, it does.
ま、そういうわけなの。お礼がしたいんだって。
Anyway, that's how it was. They said they wanted to thank you. But you really didn't have to go out of your way so much.
いえいえ、させてもらわないとこっちが納得いかないので、これ菓子折りです。
Oh, no worries. If you don't let us think, you will feel horrible. Here, have a box of cakes. Thank you.
ほら大地もお礼。
You too, Daichi. Say thanks.
お兄ちゃんありがとう。
So cute, dude. Thank you, Oni-chan. Then the boy looked around.
お姉ちゃんは
Where's One-chan? Asa-chan! Asa hadn't noticed the visitors, so I called out to her and waved my hand. When she heard that, she trotted over.
こんにちは。お久しぶりです。
Hello, it's been a while.
こちらこそお久しぶりです。
Hello, it's been a while indeed.
こんにちは。
So cute, dude. Hello. They've come to thank us for that time. They even gave us sweets.
それはどうもありがとうございます。
Huh? Thank you so much.
そんなむしろこちらがお礼を言いに来たんですから頭を下げないでください。
Oh no, we're the ones who came to thank you, so please don't bow your heads to us.
でもこんなご丁寧に本当別に大したことはしてませんから。
But you're too kind. We really didn't do anything. They resembled a pair of housewives falling over themselves to praise each other.
お姉ちゃんもありがとう。
Thank you too, One-chan. The little boy bowed his head. He seemed like a good kid.
逆上がりはできるようになった？
Have you managed to do a backwards flip? Asa asked him.
まだ。
Not yet.
そうなんだ。ごめんね。
Ah, I see. Sorry.
この子どうもダメなんですよね。なかなかうまくならないんです。
He's really no good at it. He just can't do it do it correctly.
それで僕も諦めようかと。
No, stick with it, little boy. Live your dream. Anyway, I'm thinking about giving up.
まだまだ小さいんだから頑張ればできるようになるから。
You're still young, so if you keep trying, you'll get it someday.
でも
But
なんとかできるようになってくれるといいんですけどね。
it'd be nice if he managed to learn it. I guess he wasn't good at sports. There were a few kids in my class who couldn't do backwards flips either. I've never tried because I know I will die. I know my whole body. I don't think I've ever tried to do a flip for anything. Like not one time. The only thing I could even think of that I made where I seriously considered it was not even for the pool, which might have been a good guess. But no, I've never tried that either. I was on a trampoline, and this one I was in my 20s. Keep in mind, for this, but I was on a trampoline, and I hadn't been on one since I was a little kid, and so I was like, wow, this is cool. Like, and oddly, it takes a weird set of muscles. Like I feel really sore, and then I thought, like, man, I could jump pretty high. I wonder if I could actually do a flip. And I considered it, but I thought, yeah, but if I'm wrong, what happens? I land on my head and die or something. You know what I mean? Or at least I hurt myself, and I'm like, I don't care that bad. Like, I don't want to find out that badly, and so I didn't. But yeah, so it's like, I don't think it's a staple of being alive or anything. Like, I've lived a long, otherwise very productive, happy life for the most part. I mean, it was hit or miss, but I've had lots of good moments. I've had a full life so far. Like, I've never flipped. Anyway, not the point. There were a few kids in my class who couldn't do backwards flips either.
みんなそう言うから少し悔しいの。
Everyone says that, so it's kind of embarrassing, frustrating. Sorry, no, not embarrassing, huh?
できなくてもいいって言うけど、でもだから悔しくて。
They say it's okay if I can't do it, but that's why it's so frustrating.
学校の先生とかそういうのが当たり前なんだって言うんだけど、僕はそれが嫌で。
The teachers say it's common, but I hate that. Asa's he's like my spirit animal. Well, no one had been making a big deal out of failing to do a backwards flip when I was a kid either. But even then, failing at something was really embarrassing. Teachers used to coach kids as long as it took until they could do it. But even if they did that now, the parents might get angry.
あれ？お姉ちゃん、これで飛ぶの？
Whoa, One-chan, are you gonna fly in that? The boy asked this suddenly when he noticed the glider standing on the runway. His depressed expression had changed instantly and his face shone with excitement. Little kids can be very emotional and their moods change quickly.
私が飛ぶってわけでもないんだけど。
Yeah, well, it's not that I'll be flying myself.
いや飛ぶのよ。そのお姉ちゃんが飛ぶの。
No, she will. This One-chan is gonna fly in it.
ヨルちゃん？
Huh? Yoru? Yoru cut into the conversation.
あ
Wow.
でしょ姉さん。
Right, Ne-san.
私はただ相乗りするだけだし。
I'll just go for a ride, though.
それでも 飛ぶんでしょ。
But you'll still fly, right? Yep, this Onechan will fly in it.
へえすごいねお姉ちゃん。
Wow, that's amazing, Onechan.
そんな別にすごくなんて。
It's not really that amazing.
そうだ、せっかくお客さん来てるんだし、朝が最初に飛ぶってのはどう？
Oh yeah, since we have these visitors now, why don't you fly first? Why don't you fly first, Asa?
朝が飛ぶとこ見せてあげるとか。
We can show them how you fly.
私がですか？
Me?
葵くんと一緒にテストフライト。
You can do a test flight with Aoi-kun. Hell yeah, dude, now's the time. Let's go. Asa and I got into the cockpit. I sat in the front and Asa got in the rear seat.
本当にいいんですか？
Is it really okay? Asa was hesitating.
最初はアゲハ先輩か小鳥先輩だと思ってましたから。
Well, Agaha's not super interested in flying. She like, you know, she's all about the dream and she wants to build it and but she wants to be on the she's on the ground team. She's not overly interested in flying in and of itself. And I mean, Katori is a fair argument, but you know. Anyway, I thought Agaha or Katori would go first. I haven't forgotten my promise with Katori. However, we haven't decided anything like that. Besides, she suggested this herself. This isn't the real thing. You don't need to worry so much.
ありがとうございます。
I mean, you know, it is a fair point that this isn't the one shot, like, you know, Morning Glory's here, don't mess up. If anything messes up, we're gonna miss it kind of thing, you know. This is the test flights. There's gonna be lots of them today. So it's like, you know, it's not like the 1 in a million shot thing, you know what I mean? Thank you. All right. We carefully checked the control stick and the rudder controls. There wasn't anything out of order. Then we fastened our seatbelts tightly. All right, this should be fine. Everything's okay. We're closing the canopy, Asa. Okay. Can I just say really quick, that sliding noise of the canopy closing, for some reason I find it very satisfying. I don't know why, but like every time I do it, it's so smooth. It's just like it's like the Star Wars doors opening and closing, like that little whoosh noise they make. It's like that, but obviously it's, you know, slower and a little bit different, but it's something similar. It's like that. It's very satisfying. Just that noise, it always gets me. I'm always like, ah, that's nice. Anyway, the canopy closed over us. I immediately checked the lock. The lock's okay. I reported to everyone outside.
調子はどう？葵。
How are the adjustments, Allie? We haven't even started flying, so I can't tell. So far, everything seems fine.
そっかそっか。頑張ってきてね。
I see you do your best. Yeah.
姉さんが憧れた空。存分に眺めてきてください。
Oh, sorry, it was so fast, I was expecting more. The sky that you always longed for. Go up there and gaze at it to your heart's content. Yeah. Wow, awesome. It's really gonna fly.
あらあら。
Oh my.
あらまあ。
こっちもオッケーよ、葵くん。
Everything's okay here too, Allie. Katori, who was in charge of operating the winch, reported through the radio. Now all that was left was to fly.
朝、さっきの子、あなたのこと見てるから。
I hope this actually works out. Like they can just take off and they can have a nice moment. Like I hope nothing bad happens. Like the winch just suddenly doesn't work and it's this whole drama. I hope they can just take off. Anyway, Asa, that little boy is watching you.
葵くんと一緒に夢を見せてやりなさい。
Go up there with Aoi and show him your dream.
はい。
Yeah. I can say though, with the triumphant music kicking in and considering they're talking about chasing the dream and stuff, I do think it's probably gonna work. But I'm just really hoping that they just can allow this to happen. Asa nodded firmly behind me. All right. Asa, give the signal. Or Agaha, give the signal. Sorry. I signaled to Agaha outside. She gave a sign to Katori, and then... Vroom! The fuselage jerked and started accelerating. The frame shook as the glider sped down the runway. Asa, I'll show you the sky. Yeah. We'll fly. Let's go! Chase the dream! Asa's gonna be happy! Suddenly, we heard the sound of wind rushing past us. The next thing I noticed was the clear blue sky filling my entire vision.
飛んだ。
We're flying. I've confirmed the release of the towing rope that was attached to the lower part of the fuselage. With this, we should be able to fly without issue.
飛んでますよ先輩。
We're flying, Senpai! Of course we are. This is a glider. We climbed to some extent, then the glider kept that altitude. The nose that had been pointing up, has dropped and was level now, so that we could see the town of Kazagura spread out beneath us. Wow, this town, it looks so small. The glider kept flying forward like this while descending slightly. From now on, if we don't use thermals to reascend, we'll keep descending. Incredible. The sky that I haven't flown through in such a long time stretched out endlessly around us. It was exhilarating.
エンジンがないのに本当に飛んでるんだ。
Dude, she's so adorable, dude. Anyway, even though it has no engine, it's really flying. Yep, that's right. The sound of the wind hitting the glider was resounding outside the canopy. It almost felt like we were being held up by this sound itself.
こんな小さな箱で空を飛ぶなんてなんだか不思議な気分です。普段乗る飛行機よりもずっと空が近い。まるで速度のないジェットコースターみたいです。
It feels strange to be able to fly through the sky in such a small vehicle. The sky feels much closer than in regular planes. It's like a slow roller coaster. Ah, that's a pretty good analogy. However, this flight wasn't stuck on any rails. I was piloting the glider and taking care not to descend too much while turning left and right, trying out some other maneuvers.
空飛べちゃうんですね。
We can really fly. Yeah.
空と視線が同じ高さです。
My gaze meets the sky on the same level. Yeah. Oh, dude, her dream's coming true. I'm so happy.
こういう視線、私にはありえないと思っていました。
I thought that looking like this would be impossible for me. She wasn't looking up. She was gazing straight at the sky. That's only possible because we're flying. Do you want to try piloting it?
いや、無理ですよ。私はまだ。
Huh? No, I couldn't. I still don't. But you always practice in the simulator whenever you have free time during club activities, right?
そうなんですけど。
Well, yeah, but
いつか自分でも操縦できたらなって。
I thought it would be wonderful if I could fly myself someday. Come on, just a little. I'll tell you what to do, and if you make a mistake, I'll back you up right away. Just move it gently, okay?
だったら少しだけ。
Oh, man, I hope this works out. In that case, just a little.
死んじゃったらごめんなさい。
That's worrisome. I'm sorry if we die. We won't die, it's fine. I knew she got the grasp of it at the simulator, and I could always take over if necessary. I gave the controls over to Asa for a little bit. Try doing it like I did just now, okay?
右に旋回
I'll try
して
to...
みます。
Sorry, way too fast. I'll try turning right. Go ahead.
こうですか。
Like this? Asa awkwardly operated the control stick and the rudder. Right. Left. She was a bit clumsy, and I often had to assist her, but she did manage to fly the glider.
ちゃんと飛べてる。
And so far, it's just working out, and I mean, every time I keep worrying, like, oh man, I hope nothing bad happens that sends her into a spiral of depression. Like, and every time I keep being worried about it, it ends up being okay. Like, and so I'm still happy about that. It's a very fluffy route so far. Like, I mean, there were some darker parts, but none of them were that dark, like, comparatively. Like, I mean, Asa has some things that she was working through and getting over, but like, by and large, it wasn't that dark of a route. Like, there wasn't like really bad feelings. Like Ageha's was full of stuff that just felt bad. It was just left a bad taste in your mouth, and you just want a resolution. But Asa's route is really fluffy, and it was honestly, it's really what I needed. It's really what I needed. Anyway, am I flying properly? Yep, you're doing fine. I think you have a knack for this.
それは良かったです。
That's good to hear. Whoa. Shall I take the controls again?
はい、お願いします。
Yes, please. I took over the controls. Asa sighed deeply. She must have been really nervous. You just flew through the sky.
少しだけでしたし、だいぶ降りちゃいましたけど。
Just a little. We have descended quite a lot, though. Then we'll just ascend again, like this. We found a thermal and got into it, increasing our altitude. The glider was rising up softly, and our view was filled with the sky again. See?
先輩はすごいです。
You're awesome, senpai. Well, I've gotten pretty used to it by piloting. I've gotten pretty used to piloting by now. I've even gotten a license.
先輩、こんな時でなんですが、少し話を聞いてもらってもいいですか？
Finally, dude. There's been something nagging with her, and I think with some other people too. Like, I just want to hear what's the secret. Anyway, senpai, this might be a bad time, but can I tell you something? What is it?
私、ト 鳥の気持ちがわかりませんでした。
I never understood how birds feel. How birds feel?
そうです。鳥は私の気持ちを分かってくれないと、そんなことも思っていたんです。
Yeah, I also thought that birds could never understand my feelings.
そしてそれがすっごく不安でした。周囲が鳥ばかりだから私だけ取り残されたような、そんな感覚がして。
And that made me feel uneasy. I was surrounded by nothing but birds, and I felt I was being left behind. She must be talking about her family. Yeah, I mean, so if you're not following her analogy so far, so birds, obviously, her family is full of very successful, smart, above average people, you know? And then, but Asa is much, I mean, she doesn't have like this incredible IQ level of like Yoru or whatever, you know what I mean? So her family just thinks like, they think very poorly of her because she's not this super genius like Yoru. But like she has value too, but just by comparison of being associated with so many amazing people, you feel subpar, even if you're an incredible person, you know what I mean? And so obviously for her analogy is she feels like her family is like birds and she's like a regular person. So they're all like, you know, they can fly, they can live their dreams, they can reach anything they want to, they can just take off at will, and obviously she can't do that, which is obviously that's the analogy she's going for there. And so, you know, obviously this eats at her, clearly, and Yoru has said as much earlier already, so, you know. Anyway, she must be talking about her family. She was surrounded by so many incredible people, like Yoru, for example. See what I mean? It's like I'm psychic.
鳥たちはいつだって空を見ています。今のこの綺麗なこの世界を眺めているんです。だからそういうの理不尽だって思ってました。
Birds are always looking at the sky. They always see this beautiful world. That's why I thought it was unfair.
でも
But
私飛べなくてもよかったです。今なんとなくそんなこと思っちゃいました。
now I think it might be good that I couldn't fly.
だって飛べなかったから、それが普通じゃなかったから、今この空を綺麗に感じられているんでしょうから。
And see, that's the attitude to have right there. It's that perspective that's gonna like changes everything for you, you know? Absolutely. What a good message. Anyway, it's because of that, it's because I normally can't see the sky like this that it looks so beautiful to me now. That's right, a human who could fly would never understand this feeling. And she could savor it. That's the privilege of those who can't fly.
どうして人が地を這うのか分かった気がします。それはきっと
I think I understand why people crawl on the ground. I'm sure that's
空を飛ぶためなんですよ。
so they can learn to fly. I think so too. Aw, dude, the feels! Longing, envy, trying to catch something huge, trying to go somewhere high. The world that we yearned for when we were children, the world where we could fly freely. It's right here. I could only describe it in one way. This is the best. But if I'd been able to fly freely through the sky ever since I was a kid, it probably wouldn't have felt so wonderful now. That's true.
きっとこれは地べたを知っている人間にしかわからない高みです。だから私は地を這ったんです。
I'm sure these heights can only be truly appreciated by people who know the bare earth. That's why I was crawling on the ground for so long. Asa could really understand it well. She could savor the feeling of achievement more than anyone else.
私は幸せ者です。この短い期間に2つの最高をつかむことができて。
I'm so happy. In such a short time, I managed to catch 2 incredible things. Yeah, see, no, I honestly, I think that perspective, I think that is like I think that's a really important lesson to take away from this whole thing, and I've said this for years, and it's always been my reasoning, but on my channel, off and on, I've mentioned it for years. But, like, by and large, I think that's what makes gaming so special to me, is that, like, you know, a lot of people that don't know, they don't get it, like, they look at games or like anime and they're like, oh, it's a waste of time. You're just wasting your time and or whatever. They don't get why it's important. But I have always felt like entertainment in general, really, anything that you love is not a waste of time. In general, for me, it's gaming and anime or whatever, and among many other things. But those are the primary 2, and it's what my channel is focused on. But But for me, anything that you love, any pursuit of whatever makes you happy was not a waste of time. Like, even if it doesn't have an economical purpose, or even if it doesn't net you a better job or anything, like, it doesn't mean it was a waste of time. That's what it's all about. That's the point. That's why you should keep trying and keep, like, learning and or whatever. You know what I mean? And because gaming, now for me, gaming and like anime and things like that, they're important to me because of the messages and the stories and the characters you meet and like the messages you can take away and apply to your life. You know what I mean? To figure out how to better you. And this whole message is absolutely it, you know? That because Asa is not used to achieving, like, you know, like, because her whole family achieving something is not that incredible because they all achieve things all the time. And so for them, there's not that much effort involved because it just works. So, and Yoru earlier on in this route even said as much. And she also said that she admires her sister because unlike Yoru, she barely has to try at all and it's just gonna work. For Asa, she has to work her butt off and it might not anyway, you know? And so Yoru has even said that she admires her sister because Asa always keeps trying, even if it's not as easy, even if it might not work out. And it's not so guaranteed as it is for like Yoru or for lots of her other bloodline. You know, and so it's very much that perspective, and it's a running theme in lots of things. It's a running theme in lots of things, but that message specifically hits close to home to me, and I actually have lots of motivational wallpapers that just like scroll through my wallpaper rotation on my desktop, and I have many that talk about just like working hard is more important than being naturally gifted, things like that. You know what I mean? And really, and I think that's the takeaway. That's Asa's like overall message takeaway, is that it's, you know, that perspective of not always being able to just be as excellent as you wish you were, having that perspective of knowing what it's like to suffer, like, you know, or work your butt off and having to try so hard really makes you appreciate when things do work out. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm so happy. In such a short time, I managed to catch 2 incredible things. Huh? You and the sky. Oh, my heart, dude. Oh, I'm sorry. Even at a time like this, I'd said something so embarrassing. Asa's so damn cute. I'm even more happy that she said this at a time like this. I think I've caught one so far. If we could reach the morning glory, it'll be 2. Yeah, he's like, I caught one incredible thing, I caught you. Now, if we can catch morning glory, then I'll be there with you. Let's make it a success. Yeah. Oh, the feels, dude. It would be nice if that little boy watching the glider managed to do the backwards flip. When he sees Asa, who used to be a crybaby like him, flying through the sky, maybe he'll find a little more courage himself. That's what I thought. Senpai, since we're surrounded by such a beautiful sight, please let me say it once again. Asa was speaking shyly, but I could guess what she wanted to say. Words that she said before, but still weren't used to saying. She wanted to say them again. All right, I'll say it too. Let's say it together. Huh? Yeah. Then, ready? Set? Aw, and they both said it. I love you. Aw, dude, my heart, though. The feels. We confirmed our love for each other up in the sky. Aw, dude, my heart, the feels. I can't take it. This is too pure, dude. This route is so pure. Oh, my feels. We've already seen this little cutscene thing, obviously. My goodness, dude. The feels. Oh, I wasn't ready for all that. My goodness. In the end, our plan to reach the morning glory had failed. It's a painful truth that great efforts that don't bear fruit are worthless. Our dream to cross over that passage of clouds didn't come true. Naturally, Katori Agaha and I, as well as our advisor Amane, all felt depressed. Just like Kaneko, who participated in activities, and Akari, who was checking up on us as a member of the student council, and Asa and Yoru, of course. I guess only Tabioka could be pleased by this. Well, I can't say for sure, though. So, is this like the ending? Did they just fast forward and like this is the outcome is different? They actually didn't reach Morning Glory this time? They don't tell you why, though? Weird, I didn't expect that. But of course, we were eager to get another chance, and we were waiting for the Morning Glory again the next year. It didn't appear during our 3rd and 4th summer either, and we graduated. Wow, that is what's happening. This is the end. Oh my god. The curtain had fallen all too quickly on our club activities that we were so passionate about. It was an unsatisfying ending that left us with somewhat gloomy feelings in our hearts. Wow, that feels like a bad ending. What the hell? But then, something happy happened that could clear the clouds from our hearts. It was 2 years later. Summer came once again.
遅いですよ OB.
You're late, senpai. As soon as I arrived at the runway, Asa scolded me. Sorry, I worked late yesterday. So I could get today off. I only wanted to take a short nap, but I overslept.
一人で起きれるって言ったから放っておいたのに、これだったら起こしに行けばよかったです。
Wow, so like all the older 3 graduated school already. So I'm assuming Asa's still in school, but she must be approaching like being done with school, sort of. Like, you know what I mean? Like she must finish it, like to some degree. So she's getting older. You can hear it. Her voice doesn't sound so young anymore either. So you can hear that. Oh, come on. You said you'd get yourself up, so I left you alone. I should have gone to wake you up after all. She has a point. I should have swallowed up my weird self-confidence and asked her to wake me up. After all, today was a big day. This guy wouldn't wait for me to wake up.
間に合ったんだからいいんじゃないの姉さん。もう準備も終わって他の人も来てますよ。
Well, he made it in time, so it's okay. It's okay, Nei-san. The preparations are all finished and everyone's here already. When she said that, I looked around the glider. Aw, dude, the family's all here. I can't take it, the feels. I see. It seems I was the last one to arrive. Everyone else was already standing around and chatting.
あ、葵くん、遅かったね。
Oh, hey, you're late. Good morning, Kaneko. Overworked myself a little last night.
朝ちゃんは元気に来てるじゃん。
Huh? But Asa came here well rested. No, not that. I meant my work.
かな、発想が汚い。
Kana, you have a dirty mind.
冗談だってば。
It was just a joke.
しかし仕事大変そうね。休日毎日のようにここに来てるけど、きちんと休んでるの？
But your work sounds really tough, and you're coming here whenever you get a day off. Are you getting enough rest? It's the same for you. You come here every single flight. You come to every single flight.
だって気になるし。
Well, I want to see how it goes. So do I.
そっか。だったら仕方ないね。
Then I guess it can't be helped. Yep, can't be helped. Rather than resting, I wanted to use as much of this club's activities as I could. I couldn't help but think about this club all the time because I loved it so much. The first year students were gathered around the winch, learning how to operate it. There were new members younger than Asa and Yoru.
私のわがままからスタートしたはずが、随分と長くなってしまったもんだな。
Ah, dude, so the club, like, the 3rd generation of club members comes around. That's so cool that, like, the dream continues, dude. My heart can't take it. The feels right now. Anyway, this all started because of my own selfishness, and the club still continues after such a long time. That's right, members may leave, but the club keeps going.
イスカの目指した空が共有されてるみたいで、なんだか変な感覚だ。
Everyone's sharing the same aim that Iska had, the sky. It feels kind of strange.
あの子の夢がこんなにも多くの人間の夢に変わるなんてね。
Oh, dude, the music hitting and them talking about it. I'm getting goosebumps, dude. All the feels. I never thought her dream would be shared by so many people. Kotori and I joined the same way, and even now we keep coming to watch how the younger members are doing.
私に関してはまだ顧問をやっているしな。
And I'm still the advisor. Senpai forced a smile. It wasn't that we had any regrets, it was just that this connection we shared made us happy, and so we kept coming back. The glider had been improved over and over again, now it had even newer wings. By the way, some members of the robotics club were helping out glider modifications behind Tabioka's back. Good. Tabioka, whatever.
モーニンググローリー。飛べるといいな。
The morning glory. It'd be nice if they reached it. They'll pass above it. I'm sure of it. Oh, the feels, dude. My heart. I looked up at the eastern sky. Last night, it had a glowed bluish purple. This year, they'll make it for sure.
姉さん、そろそろです。乗り込みましょう。
Nessan, it's time. Let's get on board. Yeah. Asa and Yoru got into the glider. Asa in the front seat and Yoru in the back. Oh, dude, so Asa, like, finally became more confident in her flying and stuff. They quickly went through all the checks, closed the canopy, and prepared for takeoff. Senpai. This year, I'll show the side of us crossing over it. Yeah, I'm counting on you. Amane's feelings were passed on to us, and our feelings were passed on to Asa and the others. The attempts to challenge the sky continued without end, and those feelings were being passed on and on by those who kept on dreaming. Perhaps those feelings are what encouraged the development of all aviation technology that's spread throughout the world nowadays. Whoa, I just had some romantic thoughts.
任せてください。だって私は
Leave it to me. After all,
空を飛ぶために生まれてきたのですから。
I was born to fly through the sky. Dude, I can't take it. I'm gonna cry, dude. My heart. Oh, I'm getting all emotional. I feel my eyes. Oh, I can't take it. And now the girl who longed for the sky. Oh, dude, I'm so happy. That was amazing. Oh, I'm all emotional. Like the good messages, and Asa got confident, and her and Aoi are happily ever after, and like she got confident, and she like learned how to be happy despite her like depression and stuff. And oh my god, oh wow, my feels, that hurt, man. That was amazing. I'm so happy. Wow, that was so good, dude. It was so interesting too because it didn't turn out like I thought. That's what was really fascinating about that. Is it didn't turn out like I thought, you know, because obviously they didn't reach Morning Glory. So it's interesting because the year that they thought they were going to, and all the other routes, they do make it. But in Asa's, and I'm willing to bet in the next one too, they probably don't. But what changes is because obviously Asa and Yoru were so much younger than the others are. They all just like how Anshan kept coming back and kept supporting them. You know, and Amane is obviously apparently still the advisor. The older three, you know, like Kotori and everyone else, they come back, and Kaneko too, and they come back and they help the newest brand new generation of the Soaring Club get, you know, chase the dream, try to reach Morning Glory and all that. Like, it's just so cool. Like, there was so many good messages. Like, and that's what it's all about, man. That's what gaming's all about. It's what so many things are all about. It's like, you know, like. And I think that's the takeaway. Anything that makes you feel like that happy, like with messages that feel that applicable, that get you all emotional, that can't be a bad thing. That can't be a waste of time. There's no way. Like anything that has that kind of effect on a person was not a waste of time. You know what I mean? Like this stuff that I do on my channel, this is important. And it's not just because it's a game and I'm whatever, I'm a nerd. I am, and it is just a game. But like it's not just fluff. It's not just superfluous. Like this stuff matters. It means something. Like this does too. It's like their whole Soaring Club in general. Like, you know, it's not just about flying a glider and you know, flying around. Like, you know, it's about them chasing their dream of trying to reach something, trying to aspire to be better, trying to learn to chase your dreams and stuff. Like that's the whole point of the whole novel, is learning to chase your dreams. Theirs happens to be trying to reach this specific goal of like the Soaring Club and reaching more this incredible phenomenon and stuff. That's what you know, the surface level goal is. But like bottom line, I think their real goal was by learning to be happy and like overcoming what specifically bothers them and like doing something special with their friends, you know what I mean? Like, and that's really what it's all about. And it's their whole Soaring Club thing too. It's just chasing your dreams, and that's really what it's all about. It's not just about the glider. You know what I mean? Anyway, that was so good. That was so good. I loved Asa's route. That was amazing. Just like, you know, I said it earlier, and I didn't realize this would actually be the finale. I fully thought, I was like, yeah, you know, we'll go a couple more minutes, and I'll cut at my usual time, and if there's leftovers, we'll just tack it on to whatever the other part of the route's like. But then it actually ended very differently, and it felt shorter, too. It felt like it went faster than the other ones, but I'm not complaining. I felt like it did tell a full story, and, like, it was so good, and there was so many good takeaway messages, and, like, and Asa was such a great character, and it was, like, there was so much about her that you, like, I don't know, you don't realize what is really ticking going on unless you doing her romance route. And so it was so good. It was so good. So I'm really, really happy about that. And yeah, so next episode, I don't know, of course, because I don't know how long the last arc is the last route is gonna be, but all the choices are exactly the same up until the final decision. And I believe we made the final decision pretty close to the end of last episode. And so I think it was at the closer to the end of its episode. So so it would not surprise me if the next episode might be the finale of the whole thing, because all the choices will be identical. So there'll be nothing for me to show there. And so, you know, and then with this one, this was a normal length episode, pretty much. As after the cuts, it'll be short. After I cut out the ecchi stuff, it'll be short. And I mean, probably, I don't know, maybe even 40 minutes short. I mean, probably something along those lines. Probably 40, 45 minutes getting cut out or so. So it's going to be short, you know what I mean? And it's not like the other route is not going to have any ecchi stuff in it. Anyway, and so, yeah, it was just so good, dude. Just, like, it was so many good messages and takeaway stuff, and I hope you guys can think about some things that we learned today. And I know I'll be thinking about that for a while. But yeah, that was fantastic. What a masterpiece. This game is amazing. The patch was life-changing. It's so good. Like, it's so very good. So, yeah. Now, I do have to get this edited, and I'm going to get this uploading, and I'll get that uploading tonight. It won't be, I won't do it before my family thing. Anyway, so this will be going up today. That'll be it for this. I already have a Divinity part ready to go for tomorrow for Monday. So we are on track there. And then I'm hoping to, and I might do it tonight. I'm in a much better mood today, and I'm feeling a lot better today. So I might do it tonight as well. Surprisingly, I actually have Tuesday off. I have a doctor's appointment and stuff, but I'm also hoping to record. So there actually might be some bonus content coming out on Tuesday. It might end up being closer to a regular recording day for me. And so yeah, so I imagine that it would not at all surprise me if the next part for Monday is our actual finale of the whole series. It would not surprise me, just because if all the choices are the same, I don't imagine that after the final choice that Yoru's route would be super different. I imagine it'll probably be shorter, so it is very possible that it will be the finale. If it's not, we'll probably just finish it up whatever's left on Tuesday and probably just jump into part 1 of it, whatever our next main playthrough is. But I'm hoping to be able to get a Divinity part up for Tuesday as well. We've been really missing those, and so I would not mind getting another one up as well. So we'll see, but Tuesday might end up being fairly normal for recording. Even with my doctor's appointment, I'm hoping I can work around that. And yeah, and so we'll see what happens with that. Anyway, that is going to call it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the content today, and we will talk to you guys later.